Ended up playing out. That intro was way too freaking dramatic. We'll get to that Monday night game with the Green Bay Packers eventually this week.
We got all week.
And next Monday morning. But the way this weekend played out for the Philadelphia Eagles in a weekend where they did not have to play was a damn near perfect weekend. Johnny Kincade, good morning. How are you today?
I was smiling. And I'm not like you or I believe Connor on this one. Red Zone Sundays don't do it for me. Like they just don't. They're not as compelling to me. I don't like it. That's just bouncing around and not really caring.
Yesterday it was.
But yesterday, the outcomes, the 1 o'clock outcomes, we went to an early movie. We went to an 11 o'clock movie. And then, by the way, Keanu Reeves is really good in Good Fortune. And Seth Rogen. But it was backed by the second quarter of the games, watching the games, and the outcomes. Beautiful for the birds, Andrew.
No, it was a almost perfect weekend for the Philadelphia Eagles. And so, look, first and foremost, they needed the bye week themselves because they're banged up. They need to solve whatever this A.J. Brown thing is. If you remember last year during the bye week, not only was there the coup of the offensive lineman going to Nick Sirianni's office and saying, hey, we need to start running the football more. That was also when allegedly, according to Jay Glazer, Brandon Graham, and Big Dom made the trip to Jalen Hurts' house. If you remember, hey, need you to lighten up a little bit. Need you to open up a little bit. You're the leader of this team now. You're the franchise quarterback. Who knows? Maybe a story comes out that there was a meeting with A.J. Brown. We don't know, but I think it was a very important time for the Eagles to have the bye week. Midway through the season, a lot of banged-up players, guys coming back from the bye week. We'll see Nolan Smith back for the first time, coming off of IR against the Green Bay Packers.
Love that.
And then, of course, some of the drama hopefully got fixed a little bit. But when you look at the way the NFC played out for the Philadelphia Eagles yesterday, losses to the Detroit Lions, the Green Bay Packers.
The Detroit Lions, yes. How about that? Green Bay, too.
Yes, the Detroit Lions, the Green Bay Packers, a couple of big losses there. Now the Rams got a win, but the Commanders got handed a loss. Now, of course, very unfortunate situation. Jaden Daniels dislocates his left elbow late last night. If you did not stay up for the entirety of a beatdown that was the Seattle Commanders game, Jaden Daniels' season most likely over. They haven't officially said that it was over, but I don't think he's coming back, nor should he come back, considering the Commanders are now 3-6 on the season. So the Eagles continue to gain ground in their own division on a weekend where they weren't playing.
Got to love that. Those are the most beautiful things in the world when you just smile and say, hey, things went in your favor when you didn't have to do anything about it. The A.J. Brown thing, though, I don't know what got done with that this week. I don't know if there's anything getting done with that. But
we'll see. I mean, we don't know. We don't know. Maybe something was done. We didn't hear about the Jalen Hurts thing till what? Thanksgiving last year?
Yeah, probably.
Whenever Jay
then.
Glazer, remember he randomly put that report out there, and then Brandon Graham went on social media and was trying to say that did not happen, and it did.
And it did. Yeah, I think Brandon was just.
Yeah, he was trying to cover for a couple of things, but ultimately it was a great weekend for the Philadelphia Eagles. So our question for you to start the show today at 610-632-0975 after what was a crazy weekend in the NFL. How much do you value what other teams are doing? So, John, you know this city. You know this fan base. There are a lot of people that on an Eagles game day, it's only the Eagles, right? The people, especially when there's a home game,
sure.
The people that do the tailgate, right? If it's a 4 o'clock game, they're there at 10 o'clock in the morning. They're having a good time. They might have somebody have the TV on with the other games, but they're not locked in. They're enjoying themselves, getting ready for the 4 o'clock slate. Then the Eagles play their game, and then you're partying in the lots or making your drive home, and you're missing most of Sunday Night Football. Yesterday was one of those days where the Eagles were off because of the bye week, and you were able to just sit down. If you weren't doing the pumpkin patch, even though that should be over because Halloween already happened.
I believe it should be. Hopefully it is.
Maybe you were doing the apple picking. I don't know. Whatever things you have to do in your relationships. If you were able to sit down and watch football yesterday, you were able to see a lot of teams that have flaws of their own. We point out the Eagles' flaws all the time because we live it day to day. We watch the game so closely. Despite the 6-2 record, we still look for things that could potentially harm them down the road. We look at things that could help them win games down the road. We dissect the Eagles as if it's, chemistry class. Is that the one that would be?
No,
whatever
that would
class
be biology class.
Biology
that's
class.
all right.
I'm on a roll. Just let me keep going. We dissect the Eagles left and right. With the rest of the teams, the NFC, we finally had a chance to do that. So how much do you, John, value what other teams are doing when you come up with your opinion of the Philadelphia Eagles?
Well, if you watch yesterday, that was a day where I looked at things and said, yeah, the Eagles have a lot of question marks, which is shocking for a defending NFC champion. But when I look at other teams, I say, look, they all have it seems everyone in the NFC, save the Buccaneers, maybe has that consistency issue, that little bit of consistency problem. And to me, that's the kind of stuff that I'm totally confident the Eagles fix. I don't sweat that. Now, for a team like Detroit, that loss yesterday, I think 5-3 and 6-2 are different math. I had an Eagles player say to me that a few weeks ago, saying there's different math to the Eagles being 5-2 or 4-3. I think 6-2 at the 8 games in and 5-3 is completely different. And when you're 5-3, you start to go, oh man, we can't trip up here, can't lose this one. I think the Eagles are firmly in control, and they wake up in the penthouse today.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. Everything that they've been doing, they've got that tiebreaker over the Bucs, got the tiebreaker over the Rams. I feel good. I watched yesterday and felt, okay, Detroit, we lucked out not playing J.J. McCarthy.
Sure.
And Detroit and the Packers both have their own issues they have to overcome. And
Dude,
that
the
Green Bay offense is pedestrian.
You mentioned the inconsistencies that some of these teams struggle with. Green Bay's games so far this year. So great win week 1 against the Lions. Then they beat the Commanders week 2, and this is when people still thought highly of the Commanders. Then you lose to the Browns, and you score 10 points. You lose 13-10 to Cleveland. Then you tie the Cowboys 40-40. Then you beat the Bengals.
Yeah, but you go 40-40, which is you're like, what's going on?
Right, and the Packers defense is supposed to. Now, look, the Cowboys offense we know is prolific, but the Packers defense is supposed to be considered one of the better defenses in the NFL. Then you beat the Bengals, you barely beat the Cardinals. Then you have a nice win over the Steelers, right? 35-25.
That's a really nice win, yeah.
And you follow that up by losing to the Carolina Panthers, and spare me the Panthers' 5-4 record, right? The Green Bay Packers should not be only putting up 13 points against Carolina and should not be losing to the Panthers, but the Packers' losses and their tie are such major stains. It's like they're wearing the white shirt with the big coffee stain on the middle of it.
The only thing I would say is that with the Panthers is that's 5. I think 5
4
and
of the
1,
last 5.
5-1.
Yeah,
last 6. They were really bad, and now they're better. Look, they're better. Yesterday, their defense is playing is balling out. But what's going on? And Jordan Love gets called out by his own defense. It's great. It's great. Things look good because all teams have issues. All teams have issues. I think the Eagles are more self-inflicted. These other teams, I think, a little more, maybe they've got more real weaknesses that won't be fixed as easily.
Or maybe they're just one step away. Who knows? I mean, that's why the Eagles are the defending Super Bowl champions and 6-2 to start the season. And look, the next 2 weeks are major tests. As Radio Man said at the beginning of the show, the Green Bay Packers, it's going to be a big game Monday night, followed by a Sunday game with the Detroit Lions. So the next 2 weeks are 2 heavyweight matchups for the Philadelphia Eagles. But we want to know, after being able to sit down and watch the rest of the NFL yesterday, how much do you value what other teams are doing when you try to evaluate what the Eagles are or who they are? The Eagles are 6-2. They have their own flaws. But, as John said, they're sitting on top. As of this morning, the Eagles are on top of the NFC. You can text in, call in 610-632-0975. So what we will do is, where are the Eagles now in the NFC after this weekend? We'll go through that. We'll see how far back some of these teams are. Do the Eagles have not an easy ride, but are they destined for the 1 seed? We'll get into that all throughout the show today here on Kincade Salciunas 97.5, The Fanatic.
The Fanatic.
something for the first time in the 2025-26 NFL season.
I think I know what you did.
What is it?
Playoff rankings.
NFL playoff picture. Yep, for the first time. 6/13, November the 3rd, 2025. For the first time this year, I Googled the NFL playoff picture, Johnny.
Now, if you like Bill Colorillo, you could get a copy of my psychopath list, and you would have had it right in front of you. But it's
I do have it right in front of me because I Googled something.
You don't have to Google it and hit multiple things. It's right on a page. But it's
don't you have to, on your iPad, click to get to that?
Yeah, but you have it all on one page. Everything on one page.
I have it right in front of me.
Got it all set for you.
So the Eagles, we wake up this morning as the number 1 seed in the NFC. And so here's how it looks right now. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the 2 seed. 6-2 record, just like the Eagles, but obviously the Eagles traveled to Tampa and did whatever they could to try to lose that football game in the second half, but they held on, and so the Eagles have the head-to-head tiebreaker. The Seattle Seahawks are the 3 seed right now with a 6-2 record. I'm not going to dive into whatever the tiebreakers are.
Are you guys going to keep telling Connor? You going to keep telling me the Seahawks aren't a problem?
Yes.
Again, okay.
Sam Darnold still plays for that team.
Oh, you got to give him respect, man. That was a good win yesterday.
Freaking
Balling
out.
Even though the Commanders stink, but whatever.
He's like playing some of the best quarterback in the entire league.
The Green Bay Packers are the 4 seed. By losing yesterday to Carolina, they drop to the 4 seed. They were the number 1 seed in the NFC. They fall to the 4 seed. Rams are your top wild card team, followed by the San Francisco 49ers. Both of those teams won yesterday. Rams 6-2, Niners 6-3. And then the Lions dropped to the final wild card spot with a 5-3 record, which is the same record as one of their division rivals, the Chicago Bears.
So in other words, you're going to be able to go from like the 1st seed to the 4 seed, the 1 seed to the 5 seed. It's a matter of 1 loss.
Yeah.
The way these things are going. The big thing for the Birds is right now with them, they have the Panthers, the 49ers, the Eagles, the only teams with 1 loss in the conference. Packers have that 1 loss, 1 tie.
Right.
So, how that shakes out at the end, I don't know. But you got to watch these conference losses. And the 49ers at 6-3 and 6-1 with the best NFC market 6-1. Again, you've been talking about it.
Their schedule is so easy.
But the one team you didn't mention with the really easy schedule, and it is a big concern, the Buccaneers have a really easy schedule.
Yeah, and look, they have their next 3 weeks. We went through this last week. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, for the Eagles to get the 1 seed. All right, let's just say this now. For the Eagles to get the 1 seed, I would imagine a split the next 2 weeks, Green Bay and Detroit, and you need Tampa to get handed some L's. Their next 3 games, at home against the Patriots, who, again, yesterday win, on the road in Buffalo against the Bills. That's a very tough game. And then on the road in L.A. against the Rams.
They go 1-2 there. If they're 7-4, I'm feeling great about the Buccaneers being behind the Birds at the finish line.
Yeah, because then they have Cardinals, Saints,
if they
Falcons,
go
Panthers, Dolphins, Panthers.
They go 2-1 and are 8-3. I believe it's going to be the Bucs because the Eagles' schedule is much tougher.
Much more difficult.
Especially,
the next 2 weeks alone makes it so much more difficult.
But when you look at the Bucs story will be told before Thanksgiving. Patriots at home, at the Bills, at the Rams. They take 2 losses there. I'm feeling great.
Yeah.
About the Birds' chances in the NFC, and we'll see. But also, too, now you got to get concerned because Seattle's got a really easy schedule.
No, they do. They do.
Really easy schedule.
Now, for the Eagles, again, if they're destined for the 1 seed, or sorry, I don't want to say destined, but their path to the 1 seed, giving either Green Bay or Detroit another loss, A, in the NFC column, as you've mentioned, John, or just B, in general. Right?
In general.
Could you imagine if you hand the Lions their 4th loss of the season if the Lions win this weekend and then you beat Detroit the following weekend? Or if you hand the Green Bay Packers their 3rd loss of the season and what you're doing is also gaining extra ground on these teams. I mean, right now, the Eagles in the NFC on top, and the 2 teams that are tied with them with record, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you have the head-to-head against, and we'll see how it plays out with Seattle.
I think a 3-1 November, and the Eagles get out of November. And they're staring at their 9-3. I think the 1 seed's going to be theirs. I really do. That's what they've got to do, though. You go 3-1, they're going to have 2 hands on the steering wheel, and I'm not sure anyone other than Tampa Bay will have a chance to catch them.
Now
got to go 3-1. That's the hard part to navigate.
You've mentioned the schedule a few times, so here's the deal. Coming up next, I want to look ahead a little bit because it's not just Green Bay and Detroit. That's going to be the two games that we talk about nonstop, right? The Packers, Lions, that stretch throughout the season. It doesn't really lighten up. It lightens up compared to those two teams.
Correct.
But the next 3 games after that, not just November, but you cross into December, it doesn't get much easier for the Philadelphia Eagles. So here's what we're going to do in the following segment. We're going to go back to where we were this time last year. If you remember, we had very honest conversations about the path to the 1 seed and how a lot of things had to go their way. And ultimately, they didn't because Detroit won the 1 seed. But then in the playoffs, things obviously went their way. Do they need so much to go their way this time? Right now, they're the team that's on top. Can they control their own destiny? We'll get into this coming up next. Kincade and Salciunas here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
A wild Week 9 Sunday. I'm Connor Thomas, and it was a wild Sunday in the NFL as the Eagles enjoyed their bye week. Lions and Packers both lost at home, and both NFC East teams in action. They got Giants and Commanders lost as well. There are also some major injuries with Packers Tucker Kraft tearing his ACL, and Commanders Jaden Daniels suffering a nasty elbow injury. The Eagles did not have a completely quiet weekend, though, as they acquired cornerback Jair Alexander as 7th-round pick from the Baltimore Ravens for a 6th-rounder on Saturday. NFL trade deadline is tomorrow. Sixers took down the Nets 129-105 last night. They're now 5-1. Kelly Oubre 29 in the win. Sixers are off tonight. Union advanced to the Eastern Conference semifinals with a 3-0 win Saturday over the Chicago Fire, but it wasn't all good in Philly over the weekend. The Flyers fell to the Flames 2-1 yesterday. Coach Rick Tocchet was very candid about his team's performance after the loss.
Well, you got to keep pounding it, right? And we got to find people who want to continue to do it. So we'll find them. But it's my job to get these guys to do it, right? They had a good record going in 2 games ago, and we just the will wasn't there the last 2 games. We just didn't have the will.
Well, questioning the will is not a great sign. We'll see what the Flyers do to bounce back. And the Dodgers won the World Series in a classic extra innings Game 7 over the weekend. Andrew DeCecco joins us at 7:55. This update's brought to you by Groundworks, your trained and certified experts for basement waterproofing and foundation repairs since 1997. Book your free inspection at groundworks.com. I'm Connor Thomas on your home for the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Even though it was a bye week, it's still a football Monday here on the Fanatic, presented to us by our friends at the local Bryant Home Comfort Team. Visit nopayBryant.com to keep your HVAC in the starting lineup. So our question for you today at 610-632-0975 is how much you value what other teams are doing when you evaluate the Philadelphia Eagles. So, Connor, you said a lot of text messages are coming in. I want to check the text line, and then I want to go back to where we were this time last year. Because remember, the Lions were sort of running away with the 1 seed. Despite getting an injury after injury after injury, they never slowed down. And so is this the Eagles' year to get the 1 seed? We'll go through that coming up in a little bit, but what do we got on the text line?
All right, so our first check-in is from Ben in Bucks County.
Oh,
who
you
says,
choked up.
Yeah, a little bit. There we go.
There we go.
Button for a reason.
Yeah, there is. Jared Goff and Jordan Love are not elite quarterbacks. They will not win you a Super Bowl. That's why I'm not scared of either the Lions or the Packers. I think the only 2 quarterbacks that could beat the Eagles in the NFC are Baker Mayfield and Matt Stafford, but the Eagles got a gift this week.
I will say it is funny to say that you are more worried about Baker Mayfield than Jared Goff for the reason of this guy can't win you a Super Bowl when Jared Goff has been to a Super Bowl.
And Baker Mayfield has never
Yeah,
done anything
right.
except one playoff win, I believe, one playoff win at Pittsburgh.
Right, when he was
in
with the
Cleveland,
Browns, yeah. And
which
the,
is
and
a
the
great
defense.
win.
The
And I
defense
love
did a
Baker
million
Mayfield. I
things.
love Baker Mayfield.
No,
so
I know.
understand.
I'm not trying to downgrade Baker Mayfield. It's just funny to say, well, Goff would never win anything when he's been to a Super Bowl. And how many conference championships now? He's
3?
been to, something like that.
I think he's much more Baker, though, scares the hell out of me much more than Goff.
No, I agree.
Just is because I think Baker Mayfield just has that it quality.
Yeah.
That I don't want to have to see the Eagles go into Tampa. That's the one I would not want to see come January. Even though we're willing to go. We're absolutely willing to.
So let's look at it. All right. So right now, the Philadelphia Eagles, as again this morning, November 3rd, first time of the season. I think a playoff picture. The Eagles are on top of the NFC, record-wise tied with the Bucs and Seahawks, but obviously because of the head-to-head with Tampa, they're ahead of the Bucs. And I don't know what the tiebreaker scenario is with Seattle to have them at the 3rd seed. But the Eagles are number 1 right now. This time last year,
Okay.
the NFC North was still a juggernaut, and it's very similar to what it was last year. Detroit, though, on top at 7-1 last year, whereas this year the Green Bay Packers have the 5-2-1 record. Minnesota was at 6-2, and I think people think higher of Minnesota this year than they did last year. Green Bay was 6-3, and Chicago was still hanging around at this point last year, 4-4. And the Bears are more of a threat this year than they were last
No,
year.
remember though, last year Minnesota was 14-3 also,
Yeah.
and a wild card. So they were more thought of last year than this year.
No, at this time, though. Remember, you thought they were going to finish last.
That just means I was an idiot about them.
No, I don't. But I don't
kept,
think you're an idiot. That's what a lot of people were
Yeah,
thinking.
but I kept thinking they were going to fall off. They never fell off. They never
did. But I think that shocked everybody.
Oh, I mean, it's wild to see where they're at right now. By the way, Seattle and Philly. It's because Seattle is 3-2 in the conference. The Eagles are 5-1.
Simple enough. Perfect.
So that's it. They have that second. Thankfully, Seattle has 2 losses already in the conference.
Right.
And they're going to take some more because that NFC West between the 49ers and the Rams, they'll probably take a loss or 2 there.
Now, in the NFC South, Tampa was not in first place at this time last year. The Falcons were. They were 6-3.
Wow.
When did Michael Penix take over? Was it around this time? Like, Cousins got hurt, right?
Cousins got hurt around midway, or
So probably
it was
probably right
November-ish,
around
yeah.
now because the Falcons were 6-3 to start the season.
And then I think this is right about when Cousins got hurt.
All 3 teams in the NFC South at this time, Tampa, Carolina, New Orleans, were all under 500. I don't really buy into Carolina this year. I don't. So Tampa Bay, I still believe, will run away with the NFC South this season. And can they keep up with the Eagles for the 1 seed? And then out west, the Cardinals were in first place this time last year at 5-4.
I don't remember that.
The Rams and Niners were both 4-4, and Seattle was 4-5. So that division is completely flipped because Seattle is now on top at this time of the season. You have the Rams and San Francisco both with 6 wins, and Arizona at the bottom of the NFC West. But they're going to be that scrappy team that kind of fights their way into being in games throughout the entire season. But
it
they're
seems
not
like that's who they are. Yeah, I don't consider them a threat to the Birds because as long as the Birds aren't playing there, again, it's the road game thing that I do concern myself with, is that Going on the playoffs on the road is really, really difficult.
No, you don't want that.
Unless you're playing a banged-up team like Detroit last year, which Washington got to
Correct.
play them where they're all banged up. I don't see anybody being in that situation this year right now, and hopefully it's not us.
Now, maybe the biggest difference, even though the Eagles are the 1 seed at this time this year, whereas last year they were not, the biggest difference is the division. The Eagles last year at this time were still behind the Commanders. The Commanders were 7-2, and the Eagles were 6-2. We wake up this morning, not only the Eagles being the 1 seed in the NFC, the division race is over.
Well, Dallas can still be on life support.
Yeah, if they
win the
tonight,
night at 4-4-1, they could be on life support.
But the Commanders are 3-6. Jaden Daniels is going to be done for the season. The Giants, they had their 5 seconds of fame. They're 2-7.
Yeah, they're done.
The Eagles are 6-2, ahead of the Dallas Cowboys. To your point, 3-4-1. A win today would put them at 500, with the tie as well, 4-4-1. But does anyone really think the Dallas Cowboys are going to make some gigantic push? The good thing is the Eagles already have 1 win against the Dallas Cowboys.
I think Dallas is pesky. That's about it.
That offense
That's about it. But their schedule, by the way, their schedule, just to give you the little skinny on Dallas, they've got a nasty schedule. So, I mean, here's why I don't think they're a problem. With the Eagles game, the first one they play, then they play the Chiefs, the Lions, the Vikings, the Chargers.
Jesus.
That's a bad.
That's tough.
Even he couldn't help them, Connor.
I think he could.
Yeah, I guess he could if he wanted to, but he doesn't help sports teams.
I'll
So
tell
there
you who
go.
could help them because their
Exactly.
offense is really good. If maybe they didn't trade their best
if they had
defensive
Micah
player
Parsons.
ahead of the season,
Why
they
not?
might actually be alive.
Connor, why do you bring such analysis to the table?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
what's
great
funny
work.
is the Cowboy fans and even the Cowboys beat writers, RJ Ochoa, one of the hosts down there, everything, talking about the Cowboys got to be all in at the trade deadline because the NFC's wide open. No, you suck. Like, they're terrible.
You're under 500.
Like, they got to go make a bold move on defense. It makes no sense.
You never needed to make that bold move. You just paid one of the
Yeah,
best
wouldn't it be
players in the
great?
league.
Just pay him.
So let's look at the path for the Eagles, and then we'll get back to our text messages. The Eagles have the Packers-Lions, which we will talk about a lot over the
Yes.
next week, 2 weeks, because even after the Packers game, we'll be talking about
Next
that
Monday,
Lions
we'll
game.
be previewing it.
Right, exactly. Then you have the Cowboys in Dallas, and you know that offense is dangerous.
Sunday afternoon, marquee game.
You'll have the stupid sun glare at some point during that game.
You might have it might be a Tony Romo game. It might be a Tom Brady game. Who knows?
Right. Then you have the Chicago Bears in Philadelphia. Look,
I love that game. They're
I know. I'm with you.
come on now.
But they're playing decent football right now, Chicago. By the way, that was one of the
That was
craziest games
wild.
we've ever watched was that Bears-Bengals game yesterday. The Bengals actually get an onside kick. They recover it and take the lead and still lose the football
And
game.
Connor had bet that game, and I'm going, I thought Connor's got it in the win column. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
This game's not over.
That game was crazy.
That was wild. That was a wild thing.
And then after the Bears, you have the Chargers. And the Chargers are still an opponent that you have to show respect to.
Chargers are dangerous. That's going to be a tough game.
They're 6-3. They had that stretch where they start off the season 3-0. Then they lost 2 straight and then barely beat the Dolphins and then lost to the Colts. So a lot of people thought, all right, maybe the Chargers were a little fake the first 3 weeks of the season. But then they beat the Vikings and the Titans pretty handily.
Monday Night Football, though, in someone else's building is always rugged because it's a game that they're worried about. We got one of them. By the way, we have 2 of them remaining.
Sure.
2 road games remaining where we got to worry about that this year.
Good news is, off of that, you play the previous Friday. You could probably fly out next Friday. You have a week to recover in Philadelphia. You fly out Friday if you want to, and then you adjust your time clock because you're not playing until Monday night. So it's actually the schedule actually kind of worked out for them.
And they will. I believe they will do that. They'll take the extended time out there.
I like that, just like they did for Tampa to try to adjust to the heat. Remember
Yeah,
that?
exactly.
All right, coming up next, we'll check our text messages. How much do you value what other teams are doing when you evaluate the Philadelphia Eagles? The path to the 1 seed, do you see it? Let's get into that as well. 610-632-0975. We'll check more text messages coming up next. Also, the bender is over. Our winter sports teams lost a few games over the weekend. We will recap the weekend for you next. Some good, some not so good, and of course for the Union, some great. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
John Marks and Ray Dunn. Your middays will never be the same again.
The show for the people.
Middays with Marks. Every weekday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
The Fanatic. Get back to our text messages here momentarily, but the bender unfortunately ended this weekend, Johnny. Starting off with the Sixers on Friday when they lost to the Boston Celtics. They made a hell of an attempt to come back in that basketball game.
They absolutely did.
They were down 38-25 after the first quarter. And then they outscored the Celtics by 2 in the second. They outscored the Celtics by 4 in the third. But then they outscored the Celtics by 6, and they have a shot at the end. It looked like they tried running a play for Tyrese Maxey, and it broke down. And then Quentin Grimes, I don't like when people do this. They played hot potato and kicked it to Joel Embiid with half a second left.
Joel looked like he was not expecting
it
at all.
He shot put it. And by the way, he hit back iron, which still within its own right was amazing that he had this shot put attempt. Almost looked like Meta World Peace. Throwing the basketball up there, and he hit back iron, but the Sixers end up losing their first game of the season to the Celtics. But then they bounced back yesterday. They take care of a bad Nets team.
They're bad,
but they beat the Brooklyn Nets 129-105. But it was a nice change of pace because it didn't take a major comeback to win a basketball game.
They can't keep digging these holes. But the thing is, though, young teams, that's the way I looked at it the other night. This is where don't put proper expectations on the Sixers.
Sure.
Put proper expectations on the Flyers. Put proper expectations going into a season. And to me, I just had to remind myself the other night because the Boston game bummed me out a little bit. But the thing is, I'm like, John, seriously.
Yeah.
You didn't. If at anything, the Sixers are a team that is, you're hoping to avoid the play-in tournament.
Just blame the blue court for the loss.
Boy, I hate it.
That thing's so ugly.
Gotta tell you,
I hate that.
Does anyone else have trouble like when you're watching on TV?
I hate it so much.
It's better than the red. It wasn't bad in person because I was down there.
So how was it? How was the vibe too, Connor? People excited about the start of the year and everything?
Yeah, people listen when they make that comeback in the fourth quarter.
Oh yeah,
that building was rocking. They just never really got the big bucket to take the roof off it.
Yeah,
but you're walking out of that building feeling like, hey, that's a acceptable loss, which I don't think we said at any point last year.
No, last year was just freaking doom and gloom.
I like how you put
time.
that, though. It is that you got to have – there has to be perspective on these teams right now.
Yeah, nobody's saying championship. Just let's have a good time. That's all we're saying right now.
Let's make this team really an interesting watch.
Now, you mentioned the Flyers. Flyers handed 2 losses this weekend, 5-2 to the Leafs on Saturday, and then they lose to the Flames yesterday, 2-1, both at home.
See, those are – and 2 sleepwalky type losses. Toronto, not as much because they were dominating Toronto for a while in that game and then just couldn't cash in, and it ends up haunting them. But I'll tell you this, people who were Torts is so tough.
Yeah, well,
Torts is so mean.
Here was Rick Tocchet, head coach of your Philadelphia Flyers, after yesterday's loss to Calgary.
Well, you got to keep pounding it, right? And we got to find people who want to continue to do it. So we'll find them. But it's my job to get these guys to do it, right? You had a good record going in two games ago, and we just the will wasn't there the last 2 games. We just didn't have the will. Microcosm at the end there, we have a guy in the slot, and 2 guys go to the side of the net. The goalie makes the save, but nobody's in front of the net. We're going to have to, haven't had practice the last couple of days, 3 days. I think we're going to have to do a lot of net front drills, almost constantly. We're going to have to get it kind of ingrained in these guys. It's hard to win in this league, If you want to play in April and March or in May and stuff like that, you got to play hard hockey. And I think we're finding easy ice. A lot of guys, even some of our best players, they want to play the easy ice, not the hard ice. That's the bottom line.
I love that you point out whenever John Tortorella would say something somewhat critical.
He was ripped. He was ripped. By the way, this is everybody who tries to tell me Rob Thompson can't come out and criticize his team for bad base running.
John.
Oh, it's a long season, everything. Rick Tocchett's 10 games in. I'm not having this crap, and I'm calling it out.
He's also trying to build a culture early on.
I'm calling it out. And you know what you do? By calling out stuff like that before it becomes a big issue.
Yeah.
Maybe you run it off. Just making excuses for your players all the time doesn't do that.
I also wonder how much in the back of the minds of some of the players, I'm not going to call any player out, but I just wonder, human nature, man, we don't have the tough Torts this year. Let me ease up at times.
Oh.
And then Rick Tocchett's probably saying, no. There's no easing up. I'm maybe not as fiery as John Tortorella, but I'm not far off.
I'm going to tell you, Rick Tocchett's not going to handle. Rick Tocchet is going to have more moments like that as the Flyers coach, and he has the mandate to do it. And I wonder if the same media that literally clutched their pearls every time that John Tortorella called players, I wonder if that's going to hurt young players getting called out. Rick Tocchet's doing it, and he's doing it early. And there was nothing supportive about that. There was nothing positive about that. It was exactly, by the way, what needs to be done. I love that he did it. Love it. But the thing is, I wonder if the pearl-clutching local Flyers media will be like, oh, well, we got to watch Tock. He's being really tough on these guys.
Oh, man, it's Tocky hockey, bro.
Yeah, guess what? Get after it, Tock.
By the way, one good note from the weekend.
What's that?
The Union handled their business, man.
Good job, Union.
Taking care of the Chicago. The Fire?
Yes.
All right, they took care of the Fire.
Isn't that a TV show?
I don't know, dude.
I think it's a TV show.
I don't hide from it. I don't really like soccer, but I'm happy for people that do.
Yes.
And so the Union move on in the playoffs, and they will play the winner of New York City and Charlotte.
Now, you say it best, though. You root for Philadelphia.
Yes.
That's what you're not going to masquerade as one of these media members that then
No, there's
all
a lot of fake people out there. Yeah.
Masquerades like, I'm a big Union guy.
No, a lot of them are fraudulent. But here's the deal. I have friends that are Union fans.
Right,
so
you do. But I love
I
how
like it when my friends are happy.
I love how you say it, though. You root for Philadelphia.
Philadelphia,
Put
man.
Philadelphia on like it's me.
I was the same way with the Soul.
Put USA on something, and if I pass it on the TV, I'm like, okay, I'm watching.
Hell yeah, man.
I'm watching.
America.
Oh, USA's trying to squash this country? Yeah, I'm in.
Unless it's Lithuania.
Count me in.
Unless it's Lithuania. Then you step back a little bit. All right, what do we got on the
I
text
don't have
line,
that
Connor?
same bond.
All right, we have a check-in here. This texter says the Eagles were given a gift yesterday. Let's make sure we take care of business the next 2 weeks. Show the NFL we are still dominant. That from Brad in Swedesboro.
No, it was a gift weekend. Like the Panthers beating the Packers.
That's
is a gift for the Philadelphia
big
Eagles.
upset.
The Vikings beating the Lions, forget spreads, right? The Vikings just beating the Lions in Detroit is a gift for the Philadelphia Eagles. Those are two teams that will be fighting for that one seed. Now, the 49ers won, and that's their 6th win of the season. But how much can they overcome these injuries? The only thing for San Francisco, and I've been talking about it since the season started, their schedule is weak.
No, it's bad.
They play the Rams next week in San Fran, but they play the Rams next week, which is obviously a tough task. But then they got the Cardinals, the Panthers, the Browns, the Titans. The Colts, obviously tough, and then they close out the year against the Bears and the Seahawks. But the 49ers, they have some cupcake games. I know there's no easy games in the NFL.
Especially when you're that banged up, there's probably not.
Yeah.
But to me, yeah, you're right. I mean, it's the 49ers got to watch. We got to watch the 49ers.
Yeah.
You're watching the Niners.
Look, I think we've said this numerous times. If the Eagles face them in the playoffs, you're not worried about them.
I don't want to go to, but I don't want to go to Santa Clara.
No, if they keep
Like,
on
that's
winning
the
football
idea.
games because their schedule may allow it to happen. Like the San Francisco 49ers, with losing their best player on defense, they've been banged up on offense pretty much all season long. They could still win 10 games, and it's because of this schedule, right? With all due respect to Mac Jones, you know how I feel about
And Kyle Shanahan.
Brock Purdy. Yeah, Kyle
He's
Shanahan
smart.
deserves a lot of respect for what he can do. He can win with any quarterback, which is why they never should have paid Brock Purdy all that money. But the San Francisco 49ers are going to be a team that's still going to be fighting for you for that top seed for at least a couple of weeks. So the path to the 1 seed, do you see it? Is it there? How much rubble is in the way, right? How much erosion do you have to avoid? These next 2 weeks will be big for the Philadelphia Eagles. How much do you value what other teams are doing when you evaluate the Eagles? We'll check our text line coming up next, 610-632-0975. Also, we talked a little bit about the Sixers. I'm curious how long a talking point will last this season with the Sixers. We've tried to minimize it on the show, but it doesn't matter. It's still talked about. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. And let me tell you about our friends at Corona. Doing things a little 97.5, The Fanatic. All right, Connor, what do we got on the text line? Our question for you, how much do you value what other teams are doing when you evaluate the Eagles? Or I'm sure there's a lot of you, and look, we are going to continue to dissect the Eagles left and right on this show. There's a lot of people that only focus on what the Eagles are doing, positively or negatively, right? Like, there's some people that will just look at what the offense has done the first 7 weeks of the season, not the last game. First 7 weeks of the season and be like, they're going to lose. They're not going to win anything. And kind of not see what other teams are doing. And that's fine. If that's how you do it, that's how you do it. And then do you see the path to the 1 seed? What do we got on the text line? 610-632-0975.
All right, so we have a texter checking in that says, all I saw yesterday is confirming that we as Eagles fans freak out a little too much. I guess the big bad Packers have some problems too with the winky face emoji.
Yeah, well, we'll see if that winky face emoji's there on Tuesday morning of next week, then we'll see.
They're just such a weird team.
I don't believe that is I believe it's a hornet's nest they're walking into next week.
Oh, following a loss?
Yeah. I think
At least
it's
the Eagles
bad,
are coming off a bye, though. I mean, that is,
I
that
got
is
you.
big.
But it's to me, it's a bad hornet's nest they're walking into next week after that loss.
It's the tush-push game, man.
Exactly. And they're going to have full attention all week long.
Yeah, but the Queen Bee.
Them losing Tucker Kraft's a big loss.
Huge.
Like, that's a big
That's
loss
huge.
for Green Bay. Because their wide receivers, they have just a bunch of guys. Like, they're decent players. Like, Romeo Dobbs.
I thought Andy Reid put that roster together.
Right.
Early Andy.
Between Romeo Dobbs and Jaden Reed and Matthew Golden, who they don't use much. Josh Jacobs is still a stud in the backfield. But the receivers they have is just kind of just guys. And it's not like Josh Allen can win with a bunch of guys. Right?
Jordan Love cannot.
Jordan Love cannot win with a bunch of guys.
He was scrambling around yesterday, too. Like, he really, like, he exits the pocket early to me. He's a guy who gets out of the pocket early. Caleb Williams is a guy who gets out of the pocket early. And then I watch Jalen Hurts and what Jalen Hurts has been doing and others, and it comes with experience.
Sure.
They're willing to stand there a little bit more. Jordan Love, to me, just has a look to him of a little skitterish.
Yeah.
Like a skitterish guy.
And he was supposed to be one of the other next,
Oh, no, yeah,
big-
C.J.
big
Stroud, remember?
quarterbacks. Yeah.
Don't
C.J.
say that
Stroud.
around Ray Dunn.
What else we got on the text line?
All right, we also have a check-in here from Eric in Virginia who says the NFC East is pretty much in hand. 1 seed is within reach. The Birds just need to expand on the play from the Giants game and try to go 1-0 every week and let the cards fall where they may.
Is that Nick Sirianni texting
Well,
in?
the
Might
thing-
be.
Just got to go 1-0 every single week.
Yeah, you know what, though?
Fertilize.
You know what, though, is, though, Nick Sirianni, and it sounds like it's hokey, like when he says that, but you know what, though? His players live it.
Oh, I know they do.
His players live it like
This
they.
is such coach speak.
It is the coach speak, but the players actually do.
My dad every little league game, 1 pitch at a time, 1 batter at a time, 1 inning at a time, win every inning. Like it's such coach speak.
But there's a reason why coaches speak that way.
I know, man,
It works.
and guys buy into it. Forget that we won the Super Bowl last year. We're going to completely ignore it. All right, give us one more text messages. You're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. Then I want to tell you about something really cool we're doing at the station yesterday. I know we talked about it last week. And there was some social media stuff over the weekend as well from the Fanatics account. But I'll tell you about that coming up a little bit. And then I have a Sixers question for you. But what do we got on the text line?
All right, now Mike from Levittown might be stealing something from a later segment in the show if your observations are what I imagine they're going to be, Andrew. Mike from Levittown says, what I learned from the bye week is that the tush-push must go because it's hard to officiate. I'm tired of it. Oh, wait, no negative tush-push talk at all, even though I saw the play a bunch yesterday.
Yeah, the Buffalo Bills ran it twice. And again,
They did.
I'm fine with the tush-push staying and all teams using it. I just don't need Sean McDermott, local guy, hypocrite. If you're family members
Total
of Sean
hypocrite.
McDermott, make sure
Total
you text
hypocrite.
him hypocrite this morning because you probably have his number. All off season, Sean McDermott talked about the health and safety of the players. And, this is why it needs to get banned. Not because of poor officiating.
No.
Not because it's a non-football play and I just don't like it. He did the whole health and safety baloney, and now he's putting his quarterback and his players at risk every single week.
over and over again.
It's hypocritical. It's unbelievable.
I give the analysts some in the games too some grief about that. Come on, if you're going to talk about it breathlessly,
yeah, they don't talk about it.
They don't talk about when other teams are doing it. It's almost like it's ignored.
Yeah.
Come on, you got to pick it up.
I mean, the Ravens run it with Mark Andrews.
Come on.
The Packers were doing it with Tucker Kraft. We'll see what they do now that Tucker Kraft is injured. But teams do it. It's just not talked about at all.
They do.
It's unbelievable. All right, tomorrow, Fanatic All-Star Day, Johnny. I can't wait for this. I know it's been promoted a lot over the weekend with some of the different shows. I really like that Ricky and Bill promoted it in their costumes.
Yeah, they did.
Which was funny. But Fanatic All-Star Day tomorrow. So it starts with us at 6 o'clock. You and I will be, I think Kevin Cooney will be in with us. I have not gotten confirmation, but Kevin Cooney will be in early with us. And throughout the day, not just here on Kincade and Salciunas, but also Middays with Marks, and then also Unfiltered with Ricky Bowe and Bill Colarulo, there will be a cycling of different hosts and different guests throughout the day. I know that we have Kevin Cooney tomorrow. I know that we will have, for an hour, Johnny Marks and Harry Mays. I know Ray Dunn will be with us for a little bit. And I know the 9 o'clock hour will be when we have our buddies from Unfiltered in for an entire hour.
Okay, that's fun.
So we're going to have a lot of fun. We'll promote this more as the show goes on. I got some tricks up my sleeve. I don't know what the other shows are doing. I don't know. We have no idea.
Yeah, it's going to be, there's some greatest hits that I was trying to dig up this weekend.
Yeah?
Yeah, especially with Ricky and Bill coming in. Because it really is. There's some greatest hits that we have to get into from Unfiltered.
We just have to make sure that when Unfiltered is here, Bill cannot throw out the
Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels was hurt, and that's why the Commanders aren't winning.
What was their record with him healthy?
By the way,
count last night as a loss.
Last night,
because he was there the whole
counts as a
game
loss.
last night.
They are 2-4 with Jaden Daniels as the starting quarterback.
So none of this
year.
nonsense of Jaden Daniels was hurt. That's a ridiculous.
Because Bill tried pulling that on social media last week when I did my segment calling out a lot of the old takes. The Commanders are 3-6 this year, 2-4 with Jaden Daniels as the starting quarterback. So we have to make sure that is very well known tomorrow in the 9 o'clock hour.
Because we're not letting any clickbait on tomorrow. No rage bait. No rage bait tomorrow. It's all facts. Now, that could be a little bit more difficult for them to deal with, but we're going to deal with it. All facts.
Play nice with our friends, boys.
All facts.
Listen, I don't know. You're going to be safely in there. Don't you worry.
Oh, I know.
All right. I have a question about the Sixers.
Yeah.
And my father is part of the reason why I have this topic. So my dad texts me Friday night when the Sixers made their comeback against the Boston Celtics, right? And he sends me, wow, the comeback happened without Embiid.
Oh, geez, did he really?
Which the comeback started in the third quarter with Joel Embiid, but that's okay, Pop. I love you anyway. There are a lot of people that have that feeling or opinion, though, that look at what they look like with Embiid off the court, the go.
Okay.
And look, I understand, right? And you've been saying it. You've been more intrigued by this style of offensive play by the Sixers.
I think the fan base is clearly more intrigued with it. Completely more intrigued with it. Just read the socials on this team.
Yes.
People are like, they're young, they're enthusiastic, they're moving, the ball moves.
Right.
I mean, it's what the Sixers have not been for a long time.
If you guys are in the meme game online, you know the Toy Story 2 meme when Andy is dropping Woody. Woody is Joel Embiid. I don't want to play with you anymore, and it's Buzz Lightyear and all the other toys because that's the new flavor right now. What VJ Edgecombe is doing, Tyrese Maxey being more of the leader that we're seeing it grow in front of us. You know, the explosive offense that we're seeing. Trenton Wofford had his best game with the Sixers yesterday, albeit the Brooklyn Nets.
I got you.
It's a much faster pace. The Sixers looked really good yesterday against the Brooklyn Nets.
Who are terrible.
I'm not saying that this might not be right or wrong. I just don't understand why people are trying to come to that conclusion 6 games into the season.
I don't think you have it because I know what you are. You don't have Embiid fatigue.
No,
and I
think
I think the fan base does. I think if you're talking about 50% of the fan base,
sure,
has Embiid fatigue.
I can see that.
And I think that the style of play of like we've talked about this, the two of us, on the show, the style of play. I don't think people found it as engaging as you did because you're an Embiid guy,
right?
And I think they got tired of it when Embiid was still fresh and new and showing great potential. But I think people realize what they got. They got a declining asset, and they're like, okay, I'm really interested to see these young guys. And I think a lot of people realize they're not winning a title this year, so I want to see young guys.
Right. And look, I think people are out on it.
I think people are out on a lot.
I just, it's not like, look, the first game, the Boston game to start the season, he looked horrible, right?
He was horrendous.
And he looks all right against Charlotte. He looks better against Washington. And he looked okay in the second half of last week against the Celtics. Now, okay is not going to cut it, right?
Yeah, okay doesn't do it.
But what I'm saying is we're 6 games into the season.
But but the thing is, you're 6 games into a season, but for the fan base, it's not. For the fan base, this is years and years. It's fatigue.
Gotcha.
They want to see something different. And by the way, they don't want to see, too, if you go and you look at it, too, look how the offense looks when Embiid's off the court. Look how they're moving the ball. Look how the pace of play. It's what people are saying. I think people are saying what I say. I think the Embiid stands are still going to hold on till the last possible minute to realize, it's not as engaging to everybody else.
Okay.
I think
that's what it is. Engaged all you want. I still think if he's playing at a high level, they are a better basketball team.
No,
regardless of how the.
But is he playing at a high level? Does he look healthy to you? Because he doesn't look healthy to me.
Still ramping up, Johnny.
Okay, the ramp up period for Joel Embiid is it's a constant. It's a constant.
2 years in the making.
Yeah, I get where you're at though.
But
I love your optimism though.
The Celtics game, they made a push in the fourth quarter. It started when he was still in the court in the third quarter. We can't just ignore that because it might fit a narrative.
And that wasn't fair.
Right.
That's not fair.
Come on, Dad.
That's not fair. Come on, Pops.
All right, coming up next, the Eagles acquired another cornerback. Now, this is funny because no one seems excited for it. However, you were 5 months ago. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic. All right, let me tell you about our friends at FanDuel Sportsbook. I got to get a win tonight so that I can go 2-2.
I like that.
Damn, I need it.
FanDuel Sportsbook.
FanDuel Sportsbook app in partnership with Valley. because they watch the show every single day. So they I think they know us at this point. Like when I'm making a tease, they know exactly where I'm going.
Who are you again?
I'm Andrew Salciunas here with John Kincade.
There you go.
Jair Alexander, Eagles acquire Saturday via trade, and right away YouTube chimes in. MBD, Jair Alexander stinks. Let's just call it like it is. But Greg says it's amazing how fast corners fall off. Maybe Jair gets back in the zone here. Sammy from England, he can't be worse than what we have. So they know who we're talking about, and that, of course, is Jair Alexander. Now, it's amazing, John, because 5 months ago, we were talking about go get him, go get him, go get him.
Right.
And before his stint with Baltimore, which did not last long, and he did not play in every single game, he was a healthy scratch early on.
Couldn't even play for them.
Jair Alexander last year for the Green Bay Packers, when healthy, that was the biggest thing, the injuries. When healthy, was still a very solid corner. Now, look, you want me to go green color goggles on you? Maybe it was the system. I don't know. Maybe Vic Fangio puts him in the right system, and Jair Alexander is that player again that he was with the Green Bay Packers. Or he's cooked, and he just stinks.
Know who I trust? Baltimore on talent evaluation. Think they know defense, and I think they know talent.
But what about Vic Fangio? Do you trust him in his talent evaluation?
Yeah, I think that.
he's pretty good, too.
But again, though, I think Howie just throws them pieces.
Sure.
Says, see what you can make work.
So it's amazing because 5 months ago, there was a lot of excitement for Jair Alexander.
There certainly was.
A lot of people, because we saw what was in front of us. It was Adoree Jackson and Keely Ringo. Hey, instead of taking a flyer on Adoree Jackson or trotting out Keely Ringo for really the first time, let's bring in a proven commodity in Jair Alexander. And if you remember, when he signed with Baltimore on a $4 million deal, we were all like, damn, really?
That's all he signed for?
But remember, he's friends with Lamar. He played with him in high school. And so what he wanted to do, from all the reports, was go to a winning situation in Baltimore, which it is. I know that they're 3-5, but you know how I feel about the Ravens still moving forward. Go to a winning situation in Baltimore, a good defense, maybe have a good season and get paid by another team at some point, right?
Exactly.
So you understood why
Or
Jair
stay
Alexander
there.
would do that, or stay there. So that's why he picked Baltimore over any other team. On Saturday, it was so cool, John. The news breaks, and I'm in a bar with Connor Thomas and Ray Dunn. And I was able to do an immediate reaction video with 3 members of 97.5 The Fanatic, me, Ray, and Connor. And look, we were excited, right? And
what were you excited about? Look, it's exciting to be out
I'm
with
excited
Connor, Connor and Ray and some cocktails and everything. Yeah, that's fun on a weekend.
Yeah.
But what were you excited about?
Here's what I'm excited about. It's the idea of maybe he can go back to form, and ultimately all you did was give up a 7th-round pick.
Okay,
You didn't trade a 3rd-round pick or a 4th-round pick. You gave up a 7th-round pick. He could go out there and suck, and Vic Fangio would say, all right, I'm not going to play him. It's not like Vic Fangio's ever been afraid to not play somebody. Like Bryce Huff last year, financially, your #1 free agent, right? The guy that you spent the most amount of money for. Who was the linebacker that they acquired last year for more money than Zach Bond? It was Devin White. He did not play him, and ultimately he was released.
He was a healthy scratch the first couple games.
Yes, he was. So I'm not sitting here telling you that all of a sudden Jair Alexander is going to save the 2nd corner spot, but maybe it's not as bad as what it was. Excuse me, the Eagles traded a 6th, they got a 7th back.
Yeah,
so
not,
you trade a 6th-round pick for Jair Alexander.
He's not an answer as the 2nd corner.
But who is?
Well, that's what I'm just saying.
That's what I'm saying. Like
They're just
Ja'Cory
throwing the
Bennett.
kick in. Ja'Cory Bennett, I think, has a chance to be an adequate enough answer. This Jair Alexander's not even like I think it's just a complete flyer.
Yeah, but
They're taking a complete flyer, but it's nothing to me to be excited about.
Oh, I mean, I think new blood, when the guy has the pedigree that he has, is a good thing. I saw a tweet, and the credit, sorry, I don't remember who tweeted out. Jair Alexander is younger right now than Darius Slay when he played his first game in Philadelphia. I'm not saying he's that quality of player, but Slay had a lot of years here.
Yeah.
And you never know what Vic Fangio is able to do, or maybe coming to this organization can do. Like, we'll see. It's
Look, I don't know what the
nothing move.
There were issues in Green Bay, like not just health wise. Like, remember they tried trading him like 2 years ago.
They've been trying to.
He was requested. There was something ugly going on in Green Bay, and they kept him around. And
Baltimore
remember,
wasn't even willing to take, well, Baltimore wasn't even playing him, and then
Right.
they don't want to
Healthy
keep him,
scratch.
and they don't want to keep him around.
But like I see corporate B pumper on our YouTube.
Okay.
Terrible trade. Is it terrible? Like you trade a 6th-round pick. Like
But-
is it
but
a
what-
terrible trade?
I just sort of wonder what it's for.
A body. That's what it. To me, that's what it ultimately is. It's a flyer. That's all it is. You're taking a flyer on a guy that at one point was thought of highly in the NFL, and then to your point, Baltimore doesn't play him. Green Bay was not afraid to not bring him back, and then we'll see who he is with the Eagles. He might not even dress.
No, I don't think he.
Like we don't like. I don't know if he's playing this Monday night against his old team, the Green Bay Packers.
I don't think he's going to be dressing. I don't see him. I don't see him being anything. That's the only word that I took. And again, word that I took issue with you is I was excited when I saw it happen. I'm like, I'm excited about with Jair Alexander. He's not like he's an afterthought to me.
Yeah, but I'm
The idea
excited
of
to
being
get
excited
an eye on another player. Like I do you feel comfortable moving forward? I'll go with the names that we have. Adoree Jackson, do you feel comfortable moving forward with him as your second quarterback?
Well, a lot better than Jair Alexander. Yes. I mean, but I don't feel comfortable that that's an answer. No, you're right.
Do you feel comfortable with Keely Ringo as your second quarterback?
No, I do not.
Do you feel comfortable with Jacorian Bennett as your second quarterback?
I think I could feel adequately comfortable.
Okay.
Adequately. Not thrilled.
Yeah, not thrilled, right.
Not like, wow, this is awesome.
You traded a 6th-round pick, got a 7th round in return for a guy that might not play, or maybe they find something. We don't know. That's why, like, I'm intrigued by the
Okay,
idea.
I like. Well, intrigued.
I'm not telling you they saved the season. Like, I'm not gonna sit here pumping my chest, going, "Yeah,
No, but intrigued.
Jair Alexander."
Intrigued. I'm with you. Excited. I'm not. I'm not excited at all by Jair Alexander showing up here.
I'm just curious to see
He's
what
been
it
a
looks
hot.
like, man.
He's been a hot potato of suck, and teams not wanting him around. Like
Hot
the
potato of
the Packers couldn't wait to be rid of him. They couldn't wait to be rid of him. Here, somebody take him.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, I'm just, and I like both of those organizations' talent evaluations.
I like the Eagles organization too.
No, I do.
They're pretty good.
No, but I think they're just trying to say, well,
Defending
maybe
Super Bowl champ.
there's always the we can fix them routine.
Yeah, and maybe they can. All right, coming up next, we have a new record holder. I wonder how many people will actually value it. Also, John will give his 3 observations from the NFL. We got text messages. It is Kincade and Salciunas on this Football Monday. It might be a bye week, but it's still Football Monday, presented to us by our friends at Local Bryant Home Comfort Team. Visit opabryant.com to keep your HVAC in the starting lineup. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
All right, this weekend you have plans.
The battle of YouTube going on right now, Johnny.
What's on Battlefront today?
Somebody, EEP1215. Damn, y'all are miserable and draining.
What?
Not to us.
Oh.
Towards some of the other YouTube people, because sometimes there is a lot of complaining that's being done on our YouTube feed. But MBD says it's not a horrible trade about Jair Alexander.
How does he know?
It's an irrelevant trade.
Oh, okay.
You traded a quarter for 5 nickels.
No, I got to tell you though, is you can find contributing special teamers and backup guys late in a draft. I don't like giving away all these late draft picks.
Well, you got one back. You got a 7th-round pick in return, man. You got the next Jordan Mailata.
Could
There
be.
you go.
You never know.
Uh-huh.
All right, real quick, before we talk about the record that was broken yesterday and we get your 3 observations, I want to shout out a couple of people here at 97.5 The Fanatic. Connor Thomas. Ray Dunn.
What?
Andrew DeCecco.
What about?
And in sales, Lauren Henwood. Her husband's Lithuanian. We had the annual Lithuanian event, Muge, which happens the first weekend of November every single year. 49 years. I did not realize next year is number 50. Muge. Yeah.
Okay.
Next year will be the 50th anniversary of it. I mean, this goes back.
They started
my
it at the
grandfather
bicentennial.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
there's a plaque in the basement of the bicentennial honoring the event
Okay, that's fantastic.
in the cultural center. But Connor and Ray and DeCecco all came in support, which I thought was really cool. So thank you guys for doing that. I bought you like $100 worth of beer.
I appreciate it. Thank you for the beer. It was a fun time.
Lithuanian beer, specifically.
No, that's really good.
And they tried some Lithuanian food, and they saw some of the culture and the music
Connor,
and the
Connor, your
dancing.
evaluation was?
It was fun.
Cultural.
I felt very outside. I'll be honest.
It was cultural.
But it was cool to see Andrew in his element with his people, and it was really cool to see how excited he got about.
Oh, I love it.
Dude, you're proud of your heritage, and that's a beautiful thing.
The thing is, I felt bad because I wanted to hang out with Connor and Ray and Andrew like the entire time. But like 80 of the women that were there babysat me at one point in my life. You know what I mean? Like because of how close the crew is. So I kept on getting pulled aside. So I'm sorry. That's
Come
okay.
meet Miss Janice.
That's why I just kept on buying you guys beers.
I used to change your diaper.
Yeah.
the
Things
future
like that.
king of Lithuania, Mr. Andrew Salciunas.
No, I don't think they have presidents now.
Oh, okay.
They used to have kings. Now it's presidents.
You got my vote.
All right, Cam Little, 68 yards. Do you count it?
What do you mean, do I count it?
The kick.
What do you mean,
Because
do I count
you
it?
put an asterisk next to it because of the kicking balls.
Well, these kicking rules are stupid.
That's why I'm asking.
I mean, it's stupid. Well, no, it's just stupid to me is that they literally have every team. What right now, I think that they're going to say that more than half the teams are going to have the longest kick in their history this year. That's stupid.
Now, it's
that's
funny.
That's when you made a rule that you didn't think hard enough about. If half the teams in the NFL set their longest field goal made in one season,
It is crazy.
you bastardized the record books. You did something stupid, and these balls are being manipulated all week.
Right. So my question, another question. Remember, he kicked it from 70 in the preseason, and I wanted to count, and you said, no, it's a preseason game.
It is a preseason game.
Are you more impressed or less impressed? Because you know that the kicking balls are flying, but one of the reasons why you refused to acknowledge the 70-yarder was because maybe there was backups coming off the edge they were playing the Steelers that day. Are you a little bit more impressed that the opposing teams, real special teams were out there?
Oh, I'm more impressed by that. Yeah, I mean, but it's like I'm looking at it and I'm going, first of all, it's the Raiders, it's a dome, there's things, and then but it was a line drive kick. I mean, that was one that I really believe the Eagles special teams as I watched it. I'm like, I think they block it because it was as line drive a kick as I've ever seen. And Schlereth did the game, and I'm texting with Schlereth about it, and I'm like, these stupid kicking rules. He goes, kicking's too prominent in the game right now. They're making it too prominent.
By the way, it hit the back of the net.
Oh, it was easily good from 3 yards more. Easy.
That's unbelievable.
Maybe you could go more because it's really a line drive kick, but it would easily have been good probably from 71. It's amazing.
Yeah, unbelievable.
But it's too big.
68-yarder.
It's a problem.
It's crazy because it changes the game. It really does. It is problematic.
I hate it
because of how much it changes the game. But
I hate it because it's too much.
It's still cool to see a field goal from 68 yards go through the uprights.
You take a late lead in a game, and then we're giving teams the ball on the 25 or the 30 or 35, and then you give a team like 40 seconds, they can beat you on a. It's stupid.
Like,
To me,
remember
it's
the
stupid.
Bills-Chiefs playoff game where they went back and forth a couple of years ago? Like, they needed to score touchdowns.
All right, you hold that thought.
Now, breaking sports news from 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Adam Schefter reporting that the Philadelphia Eagles have made another trade, acquiring edge rusher Jalen Phillips in exchange for a 2026 third-round pick from the Miami Dolphins.
All right, so Jalen Phillips from the Miami Dolphins. Look, you're giving up a third-round pick. He's a quality player.
How long is he under control, Connor, if you could check that out?
I will look into that.
I'm pretty sure he's done after this year.
So he's a rental.
Let me double check that for you because I know they have a couple of guys off the edge that are rental players.
I thought Chubb was a rental.
Yeah, this is his last year club option. He's still on his rookie deal.
No, club option.
This is the club option.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So this is the final year because he was the first round pick. So this is the club option 5th year of being the first round pick. So, yeah, you're trading a third-round pick for him.
For a rental player.
Unless they're going to potentially start working on a deal at some point if they value him that much. Look, you guys know how I feel about Adriel. We'll get to your NFL observations the next segment, Johnny.
Sure.
So breaking news, Jalen Phillips to the Philadelphia Eagles. Even though Nolan Smith is coming back Monday night against the Green Bay Packers, even though Jalix Hunt finally had a complete game, the last game against the New York Giants, even though Brandon Graham is coming out of retirement, I kept it consistent. I still thought that they needed to acquire an edge rusher for the Philadelphia Eagles because I'm not going to put all my bread in the basket of Jalix Hunt to continue this trajectory. Oh, by the way, Nolan Smith is coming off of an injury. I don't know who Nolan Smith is when he comes back, and a lot of his injuries are because of how physical of a brand of football he plays. He could get hurt in 3 weeks from now for all we know.
And Jalen Phillips, isn't he a guy who's been nothing but injured for 3 straight years? If I'm not mistaken.
He's been banged up a little bit.
Let's check.
But when he's on the field.
8 games, 4 games last year, 8 games the year before. He's played in 9 this year. He's played in all the games this year, but he's been almost a non-factor.
Contract year.
But almost a non-factor too.
Oh.
3 sacks
this year? 3 sacks? That's a big factor compared to what the Eagles have.
No.
Eagles, it is.
Don't compare it to what the Eagles.
Why not? You have to.
3 sacks in 9 games is something you're going, woohoo.
Yes, John. We have nothing on the edge.
Yeah, he walks in and he's probably your second best edge rusher. Because I still think Nolan Smith is a very quality player. It's just he's got to stay healthy. That's Nolan Smith's thing.
I value third-round picks. I don't. For a rental player that I think this guy he hasn't been a player since 22.
Now I'm going to maybe Howie knows that they'll get some sort of conditional third-round pick in return. What's the Bryce Huff thing?
Yeah, they could get a conditional pick for him. Yeah, they can get a 4th rounder or whatever. Yeah, they could.
So
I guess
maybe he's reading the tea leaves a little bit. All right, I can give up this 3rd-round pick
because I'm going to get it back a year later.
Sure.
A year later in the compensatory. I got to tell you, I don't think he's been when I was looking at him the other day when the names were coming up, him and Chubb.
Yeah.
I was like, well, this guy's been a non-factor pretty much for 2.5 seasons.
Now, here's another big key, as Adam Schefter points out. So you mentioned how he only played 8 games a couple years ago in 2023. Those 8 games were under
6.5.
Were under Vic Fangio.
Okay, so
and
Fangio
he had 6.5
knows him.
sacks.
Fangio knows him. Very good.
So maybe Jalen Phillips wasn't one of the players on the Miami Dolphins that were complaining about the hard-nosed coaching that Vic Fangio was, considering he was having a good season up until his injury.
He had a very good trajectory. The early part of his career, he was like a Josh Sweat.
18th overall pick in 2021?
I like third-round picks, so I like second-night picks. But, hey, if Vic Fangio wanted him and says, this is a guy and I want him and I see something in him, that's good. And he has played all 9 games this year.
Look, the Vic Fangio thing is such a key part of this discussion. If Vic Fangio said, yes, go get that guy, he'll sign off on it, right? I want that guy. So who knows about Jair Alexander, right? We don't really know, but you get a guy in here in Jalen Phillips who probably walks in as your second best edge rusher, if not your best, depending on how he and Nolan Smith go forward. I like the move for the Philadelphia Eagles. I thought it was a necessary move. I have not wavered on my opinion that I thought they needed to address edge rusher before they addressed cornerback too, because I think you can hide lackluster cornerback play if your edge rushers are getting to the quarterback, especially when you have Jalen Carter getting so much attention in the middle on the interior defensive line. Maybe that helps Jalen Phillips out moving forward too.
He's tied for 60th in sacks in the NFL with playing one more game than a lot of the guys that he's tied with.
Where do the other Eagles players rank in the NFL?
Yeah, well, so I'm saying is where's the big improvement?
All right, so coming up next, John will give his 3 observations from the rest of the NFL. We'll get your reaction to Jalen Phillips being acquired by the Philadelphia Eagles in exchange for a 3rd-round pick. Also, wow, how much have the odds changed over the weekend? They might change after this move. The odds that have changed over the weekend for the Eagles, we'll show you how much 1 week can make a difference. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Unfiltered.
Like Chauncey Billups getting pulled out of his bed, being arrested. The Eagles have acquired edge rusher Jalen Phillips from the Miami Dolphins in exchange for a 2026 third-round pick. So sort of a couple of tweets from Shefty on this. Jalen Phillips, last year of his contract, is scheduled to become a free agent this winter. He says the Eagles wanted him for the second half of this season as they continue their attempt to try to repeat. No mention of going to try to, work out a deal at some point.
And you are correct with the compensatory pick. They could easily turn that into if he gets big money in the offseason, they could turn it into another 3.
Sure.
But it puts it back a year, but that's fine. That's fine. You don't lose a draft pick. Or if he signs for less money, they get a 4.
Yeah.
Which is then you're doing a 3 for a 4.
Right. And then he mentions the Vic Fangio connection. And then on Friday, if you guys missed it, they actually fired their GM, or they parted ways. They fired their GM. So Champ Kelly is the interim general manager of the Miami Dolphins. And so this is his first trade, landing a third-round pick for a player on an expiring contract. So if you're the Miami Dolphins, you're about to rebuild.
Does Stephen Ross say, good job, champ? Sort of like the condescending champ? I don't like champ.
Yeah, but he probably says good job, champ.
I just wonder what that's like being an interim GM, and probably one of the first calls you get is Howie Roseman trying to take one of your players.
And you've been you're just trying to say, here's what we're trying to acquire. Go get these deals done.
Yeah, and look, if you're champ, you're probably thinking, all right,
what's up, champ?
This guy's not re-signing here, and we might not pay him the money that he's going to look for on the open market. And meanwhile, Jalen Phillips goes, wait, I'm going to a winning team? And I'm arguably one of the better edge rushers, and I could maybe get paid this offseason because of this, I'm going to go out there and bust my you-know-what to try to win.
He's had a lot of lower leg issues.
Right.
That bothers me.
Reunite with Vic Fangio. We'll see. I mean, look.
Come on, Vic.
I thought they needed to improve it. I still wasn't – like, Brandon Graham coming back to me is more of a feel-good story and a necessity, almost a desperation move. Well, it was a desperation move. Now you're bringing in a player that – is younger and also has pedigree and isn't coming off of retirement.
Doesn't it feel like they've been chasing all year long, though?
Oh, yeah.
And coming off of a Super Bowl, it's just odd to me that it seems like they're chasing all offseason to go, we need this guy, we need this guy, we need this guy. Look, aggressiveness is great, but I'll wait and see on it. And I like it that the compensatory pick makes the draft pick not really an issue.
Yeah. I mean, that's just second-level thinking. That's what you get on this show.
Works out well.
So your reaction to the Eagles acquiring Jalen Phillips, 610-632-0975. And our question for you, how much do you value what other teams are doing in the NFL when you evaluate the Eagles? Because we had a weekend where the Eagles did not play, and we were able to look around. Now, one weekend changes a lot. So I looked at the updated odds on FanDuel this morning. I'll start with the division because everyone agrees that the Eagles are on their way to winning the NFC East.
Home free.
Vegas agrees with you. Minus 1,000 for the Eagles to win the division as of this morning.
Can you do me one favor and check me what Tampa is?
In the NFC
Because Tampa's
South?
only, remember, Tampa now, they get the 5-4, a 5-4 Panthers team. Do they believe in them?
Minus 475.
Okay, so they do believe Carolina is legit.
They have Carolina at plus 500. The Cowboys, for that comparison, the Cowboys, the second best odds in the NFC East at plus 1,000. So Vegas has.
So they believe in Carolina. Vegas. They believe Carolina could push and be legit. I mean, they're on a really good run.
Oh, they have 4 out of the last 5.
And their defense is playing well. Coach Pornhub is doing a great job down there. He's doing an amazing job.
Dave Canales.
If you haven't read that book,
I mean, I haven't.
It's a book for you, though. I gotta tell you this. Just read the excerpts of the book.
What are you trying to say, dude?
No, read the excerpts of the book. It's fascinating. I don't know how his wife stayed with him.
I'm gonna pass.
NFC Championship winner, the Eagles, as of this morning, now back on top at plus 360. Lions in second at plus 470. Rams in third, tied with the Packers at plus 500. Seahawks plus 600. And Tampa Bay plus 1,100. So very little love for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I think the Buccaneers are a good value buy there as far as a team that I could see making it to the NFC title game and having a chance, depending on how things break, having a chance to win it. They could have home field by the time this is done. That's what I'm going to look at my Bet Parks app today.
Sure. And as of this morning, last week, remember the Eagles were 5th in Super Bowl odds on Friday.
Where are they now?
They are now 3rd.
Behind
2 AFC teams, the Chiefs
Buffalo
and the Bills.
What? The Chiefs are number 1
They're
Super
number
Bowl odds?
1 plus 550. Pedigree, man. Chiefs are number
To
one.
win the
Bills are number
to win
two.
the Super Bowl?
Yep,
They're still the Chiefs.
they're still the Chiefs.
I
That's
don't.
what it is.
Yeah, everybody said that last year too. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, and they got
And
to
they
the,
went
they
to the
got to
Super
Super
Bowl.
Bowl.
No, but to win the Super Bowl, I'm saying right now 5-4. Wow, that surprises
Yeah,
me.
they're
they
number
don't-
one.
No, what it tells you is they don't believe in Denver. They do not
Yeah.
believe.
Oh
in
no,
Denver.
I don't think Denver's winning a Super Bowl. I think
No, they don't believe in
Denver's making the playoffs.
No, they don't believe Denver's winning that division because
Sure.
they're telling you they believe the Chiefs are winning that division.
Denver's ninth, by the way, on Super Bowl odds. They're
Wow.
they're ninth. They're way back. But the Eagles are third, ahead of the Lions at plus 900, Rams plus 1,000, Packers plus 1,100. So there's
Okay.
three NFC teams behind the Eagles before you get to the next AFC team, which is the Indianapolis Colts. All right, hit us with some football music, Connor. It's time now for John Kincaid's 3 observations from the rest of the NFL.
I don't know if the NFL is mediocre or very balanced, and I really can't decide it. But when I see the Indianapolis Colts as the best record in football and I watch them play, I go, okay, they're not a bad team. They're pretty good. But how good are they? And then I look at, okay, I'm just looking at the NFC as a whole. Eagles 6-2, Bucks 6-2, Seahawks 6-2, Rams 6-2, 49ers 6-3. I don't know if the league is mediocre or balanced, but this is what Paul Tagliabue, who you guys don't even really remember,
I know the name, but yeah.
the commissioner of the NFL, always wanted.
Yeah.
He wanted the NFL to be everybody in the market of being close to 500. And guess what? He may have had his wish.
Some of it might also be like the NFC South. Who is the NFC South playing this year? Which division? Like, are they playing? Because there's some bad divisions. Like,
The NFC South is playing in the AFC.
or sorry, the NFC West. Who are the NFC
NFC
West
West
playing?
is playing they are playing the Browns, the Steelers, that division.
Yeah, because that's the division.
No. I'm sorry. They're playing
three
Titans,
6-win
Colts.
teams.
No, they're playing Titans, Colts, that division.
Oh, Titans. stink.
And then they have the Browns as their cover-over game.
Yeah.
Coaching matters more than ever. When I watch what good coaches do and how good coaches win games and how good coaches lose games, I watched New England win a game yesterday they never should have won. I watched Kevin O'Connell, who is a really good coach, go into Detroit with that. That's a game they shouldn't have won.
Correct.
And so I watch what Kyle Shanahan does with the 49ers. As much as I despise people who put towels out at the pool right as it opens and then walk away, Shanahan's a brilliant coach. He's brilliant. And coaching matters more than ever. And thankfully, Nick Sirianni is showing he belongs in all those discussions. And finally, the Commanders.
Yes.
They got old in the offseason. They believed what they saw last January was, we're this close to beating the Eagles. They weren't. They got suckered into it. They got old in the offseason, and they have 2 picks in the first 4 rounds of the draft this upcoming year. The Commanders, they're not the problem. And as I've told you before, the Giants are the future problem. I don't think it's the Cowboys because of cap hell. I don't think it's the Commanders. It's the Giants. And the Giants yesterday got thumped, it looked like. They still have a scrappy quality to them. Giants will be what we're talking about in the future in the NFCs.
How many times did we say about the Commanders? They batted 1,000 last year.
Well, that was your talking
Just
point.
like the Eagles batted 1,000 in 2017, but they fortunately won the Super Bowl.
It's been proven right, though. You hammered that home.
Batted 1,000.
My whole thing was they got old.
Yeah.
They decided, let's go get old guys and plug them in.
And they
Not
extended
working.
a lot of the old guys.
Not working.
All right, coming up next, an important nugget on this Eagles trade, maybe to make you feel a little bit better about giving up the 3rd-round pick, Johnny. I'll give that to you coming up next as we have breaking news this morning. The Miami Dolphins trading Jalen Phillips to the Philadelphia Eagles. So you got that edge rusher help. And there's an important nugget that I want to give to you next. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
The Eagles at the edge. I'm Connor Thomas, and some breaking news this morning. The Eagles, according to Adam Schefter, have acquired edge rusher Jalen Phillips from the Miami Dolphins for a 2026 3rd-round pick. Phillips had a previously productive year under Vic Fangio when he was in Miami. He's in the final year of his rookie deal. But the Eagles have added a lot ahead of the trade deadline, which is tomorrow. They got Jair Alexander over the weekend from the Ravens, Michael Carter the second last week from the Jets, so 2 corners and an edge coming into Philadelphia ahead of the deadline. The NFC fell the way that we hoped it would on the bye week. Lions and Packers both lost at home, and both NFC East teams in action. The Giants and Commanders lost as well, so it's been a good good and busy bye week for the Eagles. The Sixers beat the Nets 129-105 last night. They're 5-1 on the year. Union beat the Chicago Fire 3-0 on Saturday to advance to the Eastern Conference semis. Wasn't all good. Flyers fell to the Flames yesterday. It was a rough weekend. Coach Rick Tocchet didn't sound pleased with his club after.
If you want to play in April and March, May and stuff like that, you got to play hard hockey, and I think we're finding easy ice. A lot of guys, even some of our best players, they want to play the easy ice, not the hard ice. That's the bottom line.
It's an off night tonight in Philly sports for a chance for you to watch some Monday Night Football. This update is brought to you by Aleve. Traffic and body pain can slow you down, but don't let the pain stop you with just one pill. Aleve provides up to 12 hours of pain relief so you can keep moving. Use as directed. I'm Connor Thomas for the Home.
on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, the Fanatic, WPEN, HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. So a couple of things on the Jalen Phillips trade. Again, if you're just tuning in, the Philadelphia Eagles have acquired Jalen Phillips from the Miami Dolphins, edge rusher, for a third-round pick. An important thing to point out, the Eagles had 2 third-round picks in this next draft. Theirs, which they traded, and the New York Jets.
Yeah, they have the first pick.
Which will be a very early third-round pick.
Yeah, it's almost like another second, which is great.
So that's very key.
And they're going to get one back. They're going to get a third or a fourth. Look, he's going to get a new contract from somebody. They're going to get a third or a fourth back compensatory the next year.
Right. Also, something I want to point out. So you mentioned how he, only has 3 sacks this year, right?
Correct.
3 sacks in the last 6 games. So that's kind of important to point out because
that
if
is
you
a good.
remember,
No, he's trending in the right direction.
The first 4 weeks, they were getting spanked. And what do teams do when they're up big? They run the football.
Okay.
Not many opportunities to get sacks.
That's a great one.
In the 3 games where he got the sacks, the games were slightly close.
So they were getting spanked in the games you're telling me in the early going. Miami was really bad. I mean, how bad? I don't remember how bad the losses were.
33-8 to the Colts.
Terrible.
33-27. They scored a garbage time touchdown against New England. 31-21 to Buffalo.
Well, no, you're in those games. You're still rushing the passer. 31-21.
Last 3 sacks in the last 6 games.
Okay, that one you gave me a stat there. You gave me a stat there that's a little.
And remember, he's coming off of a torn ACL. All right, join us now on the Comcast Business Hotline. Every day is a big day. Like Comcast Business help you move forward with what's next. Enough of me trying to tell you that the Jalen Phillips trade is a good one. How about our Eagles Insider? From Inside the Birds and 97.5, The Fanatic, my man Andrew DeCecco joins us. Andrew, good morning. Your immediate reaction to the Philadelphia Eagles acquiring Jalen Phillips.
Andrew, John, good morning.
Good morning.
My immediate reactions are it's one of those moves where I felt like it was going to happen. There was a lot of smoke around it. The Eagles, and going into the trade deadline, guys, my priority based on my assessment was edge rusher, and then it was reserve offensive line to fortify that area, and then it was corner because with edge rusher, they have a lot of pieces, but they don't necessarily have a headliner. And I think if you add another player to that equation, you now are allowing some of those other players to slot into roles in which they're more ideally suited and giving more optionality. So with Jalen Phillips, 26 years old, he is going to be a free agent at the end of this season. I liked him a lot coming out of the University of Miami. There's injuries that he's had throughout his career. This season, 3 sacks, 7 quarterback hits, 26 sacks in his career, 61 quarterback hits. He's a splash type of player, and that's the move that I was kind of expecting to see here from the Philadelphia Eagles. And is he a quote-unquote headliner? Well, I mean, he's as close to that as what you might expect. So I think he's going to help alleviate some of that pressure from Jalix Hunt, from Nolan Smith when he does come back. And then they also have Brandon Graham coming back. And I should also mention that Azeez Ojulari was placed on injured reserve on Saturday.
I noticed in your podcast, you did address those things, which, by the way, everybody should be listening to that podcast. It's great when you have a drive in front of you to be able to check out Andrew's podcast that's now started with the Fanatic. And you addressed all those things. Offensive line, do you think this sort of rules out reserve offensive linemen or not?
Yeah, I think so. And to kind of expand on that, John, the reason why I said that is because beyond Brett Toth and Fred Johnson, there is a lot of questions. I don't think that Matt Pryor has been the player that the Eagles envisioned when they signed him in free agency, despite playing over 1,000 snaps last season for the Bears at guard. He's really a right side of the line guy, and when he was pressed into service against the Rams, it didn't look particularly good. So you have Matt Pryor, and then you have Drew Kendall, who's a rookie center, and he can also play guard. He can moonlight there. But he's more of a developmental prospect that I'm sure the Eagles would not like to press into service earlier than expected. And Jeff Stoutland hasn't necessarily leaned on rookie offensive linemen in his tenure. So when you look at that, I think that leaves some areas of opportunity.
How much does the trade for Jalen Phillips maybe benefit some of the other players on the defensive line when we talk about a rotational standpoint and not expecting Brandon Graham to do some of the things he did last year coming out of retirement?
Yeah, great question. And I think you're now going to be able to alleviate some of the burden from a Jalux Hunt, who was having to front the unit, and that's not really what he's ideally suited for. And when Nolan Smith comes back, look, he plays the game extremely physical at 245 pounds, setting the edge and against the run, and that typically lends itself to being nicked up here and there, as we've seen. So now you're not necessarily asking him to take on such a sizable workload. Brandon Graham can now sprinkle in. Josh Uche is a really good situational edge rusher, and he's had a nice season. So you kind of have a lot of the different components and the different puzzle pieces that are starting to fit in there. But now you're I guess, preserving some of these other players who have logged a ton of snaps this season.
I want to hear some of your observations. A Sunday where you get to sort of observe the NFL and not be fully immersed in an Eagles Sunday, and any of the observations that you made and how they react and how they affect the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, well, I mean, I wasn't totally locked in because I try to get
You're
away
busy.
as much as I can. I kept tabs on the Packers, and obviously that was a game that no one really was able to envision that happening. You have to wonder how they're going to rebound from that next week. Are they kind of on the ropes? Are they reeling a little bit? That's a pretty compelling storyline. The Cincinnati Bengals, total mess. I don't know how you let that happen. And then I watched the game last night for a little while. Seattle's a fun team to watch. They fly around, but the Commanders, man, they are probably you hate to say they're done for this, but you look at what happened to Jaden Daniels, and that was just a gruesome injury. I believe it was a dislocated elbow, if I'm not mistaken. And don't look at it if you haven't seen it yet, because it's surfacing on social media. But yeah, they're a team with a lot of flaws. And going into the season, I was a little bit, I don't want to say bullish, but I thought that they probably wouldn't reach the expectations of last season, but certainly would be better than what they've shown this year. And now losing Jaden Daniels puts a damper on everything for them.
Andrew DeCecco joining us here on the Comcast Business Hotline, our Eagles insider. So, Andrew, let's include Jacorian Bennett in the mix here because the Eagles acquired him via trade during training camp. What will this Eagles defense look like, in your opinion, the second half of the season? Now, with Jalen Phillips as an edge rusher, you have Jacorian Bennett in the mix. You have Jair Alexander from this weekend as well.
How about it?
And the acquisition of Michael Carter last week. So, of these four players that Howie acquired, who do you think will actually be players on the field for the Eagles on a consistent basis when the dust settles?
Yeah, this is really tough to configure, and I've been racking my brain for the last 48 hours trying to figure out. You kind of spin the wheel, but guys, I still think the biggest winner from this whole cornerback conundrum, if you will, is Keely Ringo, because he's younger. He's in his third season. I think that while he wasn't heavily targeted against the Giants, he performed well. He performed well when he was pressed into service against the Vikings. So maybe he's able to kind of stack that and build off of that and instill some sort of confidence. Now, to be clear, I don't view any of the options as overly enticing. They all have different areas that I think would lead some to be skeptical for sure. It's going to take a couple of weeks for Jair Alexander to get into the mix, I would imagine. And I think the way that I view it, at least, until we see him on the field, we really don't have a great sense of how the Eagles envision him. But I sort of see that as an insurance in the event that Keely or Jacorian Bennett even don't pan out. And you don't want to necessarily leave yourself committed to Keely Ringo or Dory Jackson. And Jacorian Bennett, he's only played 24 snaps, and he didn't start the season. I mean, he didn't start outside.
Right.
It was a Dory Jackson who started. So you have to wonder if they kind of have an idea at least of what he is, even though Vic Fangio said incomplete. So right now, that's the way that I'm seeing it. I think he deserves a longer look, and I believe that he will, but he has to get activated first to the 53-man roster, and then they'll have to see. But I think in the interim, you'll see Keely Ringo back out there at corner until the other players are able to get ramped up.
Telling you, it's optimistic time, isn't it? I mean, number one seed, there's a lot of optimism in the air. People are feeling good this morning.
Yeah, they absolutely should be. Now, I got one more question for you on Jalen Phillips. How much should people value the fact that he's leaving a bad situation in Miami? He is on a contract year, and he's returning with Vic Fangio that before his injury in 2023, in 8 games, he had 6.5 sacks. So all of those sort of notes on Jalen Phillips, how much should they all be valued before you even talk about the player himself?
Oh, that matters. That absolutely matters. You're now getting you have a player, one, who's motivated, right? But now you're bringing him into a different situation. And I look at the same thing for Jair Alexander. Sometimes there's more that we need to learn. And maybe that wasn't a good situation, a good scheme fit for him, and a fresh start in Philadelphia will serve him well. But for Jalen Phillips, now you're reuniting him with Vic Fangio. He's in a defense that I believe suits his skill set, and you're now motivated because you're going to be a free agent at the end of the season. I think it's a good addition for the Eagles. He's a young player, and he does have, at I believe 263 pounds, he does have the frame to support and play the run, and he does have some nice bend to him to rush the passer. I think that's a good addition on a team that really needed it.
Andrew, listen, brother, keep
That's
up
awesome.
the great work. We got to check out the podcast, Birds Buzz. And by the way, I mentioned it earlier. I want to thank you again from the bottom of my heart, you, Connor, and Ray, showing up to the Lithuanian event on Saturday. It was cool. Thank you for supporting, man. I appreciate it.
Of course, you're the man.
There he is.
He's a man of culture.
Damn right he is. Andrew DeCecco on the Comcast Business Hotline. He'll be a part of Fanatic All-Star Day tomorrow as well.
He's got a curious mind about not just football, but a lot of things.
Oh, no. He
has a very
does.
curious mind, which is a really good thing to have.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of All-Star Day, I'll tell you more about that coming up next. In case you have not heard it yet, here's some info on Fanatic All-Star Day, where all the shows mingle throughout the course of the shows tomorrow. We'll tell you about that next. I know there's a lot of ears on the station right now because of the breaking news, so maybe you want to hear this so that tomorrow you can be a part of a really fun day. And, of course, we'll get your reaction for the first time. We spoke with DeCecco. We gave our immediate reaction. We want to hear from you, your opinion on the trade for Jalen Phillips. And we also have today's headlines with Connor Thomas. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Optimism reigning this morning, Connor.
People
Here
are
on
excited.
Kincade Salciunas. Yeah, trade. Trades never break during our show.
No, we got lucky with this one. And then we got some weekend, a weird Saturday trade, too. Howie doesn't sleep. Like, that dude never sets an alarm clock.
No,
He's always
Andrew
awake.
doesn't sleep either.
No, I don't sleep. And sorry, I was talking to Mike Vito because we have All-Star Day tomorrow, and I just wanted to promote it a little bit. So I mentioned it going into the break. Not only will we be able to react to the Jalen Phillips trade all day today, the rest of the show, the three of us, will be able to do it tomorrow as well during Fanatic All-Star Day, when we will have different members of the station on our show, and then it continues Middays with Marks, and it continues with Unfiltered. So we have Kevin Cooney with us for the 6 o'clock hour. I can only imagine the fireworks that will take place between the two of you during the 6 o'clock hour tomorrow morning. We're going to have Middays with Marks during the 8 o'clock hour, as well as Harry Mays. So we have an hour of John Marks and Harry Mays tomorrow, and the second half of the 8 o'clock hour, the entire show will be in because Ray Dunn is going to be a part of the program tomorrow as well.
Mustache or no mustache?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out today.
He's got to shave that mustache.
And then 9 o'clock hour, we will have Unfiltered. Who do we have in the 7 o'clock hour? I have not seen that part.
Amy Fadul.
DeCecco and Amy.
And Amy Fadul.
Okay, so we have Amy, we have Andrew, and that's our show.
That's a big day.
Middays with Marks, it continues. I do a half hour with Middays with Marks. You're going to do a half hour with Middays with Marks. They'll have Unfiltered. And then during Unfiltered, same thing. I'll be on at some point during Unfiltered. You'll be on at some point during Unfiltered. Johnny Marks will be on at some point during Unfiltered. So tomorrow's going to be a really, really fun day throughout the station. Even though we have our war with Unfiltered, it's going to be really fun from 6 a.m. till 6 p.m. So if you are just tuning in now because of the breaking news of the Eagles acquiring Jalen Phillips, trading a third-round pick for him, and again, their own third-round pick, not the third-round pick that they acquired via the New York Jets for. You guys remember who?
No.
This was the Hassan Reddick trade.
Oh, there it is.
That's
Okay.
right.
It's a
So the Hassan Reddick trade, when the Eagles traded him to New York for the third-round pick, that's the third-round pick that they own, and the Jets are one of the worst teams in football. So not only will we react to that kind of stuff tomorrow during our show, during All-Star Day, we're going to have a lot of fun, some other stuff on the side.
Sounds good.
As well. All right, it is time now for today's headlines with Connor Thomas.
Today's headlines with the Connor Thomas.
What do we got?
It's brought to us by Lundy Law. For over 70 years, Lundy Law has been fighting for injured people. If you need them, remember the name. Lundy Law. Your
Remember
injury
the
lawyers.
name.
Visit LundyLaw.com. That's LundyLaw.com. Forgot how to talk for a second. That's okay. We got this figured out. Now, a lot of people
There's a lot of ears on the show right now because of the trade, and you're right away.
Maybe
You're
I'm
right
getting
there.
nervous.
Come on, bro. What are you, on the Phillies?
All right, easy.
Big
there,
lights?
killer. I think some people would be thinking the same thing about the coaching that happened for the Washington Commanders last night, because we all know now Jaden Daniels, a nasty elbow injury and the bad dislocation, but the situation people may not know if they weren't up late last night. He got hurt while the Commanders were down 38-7 with about 7.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Your guys' thoughts on whether or not he should have been in the game?
Yes. Can't take him out.
You don't take out you're trailing in a game. You don't take out your starters like that.
He's the leader of the team.
Yeah.
It's a bad look if he takes himself out of the game.
That's
or
a terrible look.
Or if the coach tries to pull him and he says, "Okay, coach." Like it's a shame, right? Because of what ended up happening. And I saw a lot of people on social media out there saying, "Why was he still throwing?"
You don't pull your starting quarterback when you're losing.
Because it's a bad.
You pull
it's a
them
bad,
when you're winning.
It's a bad message.
They don't, like most teams don't take out their starter when they're losing.
So is there any percentage of blame there on Dan Quinn, or do you guys feel like that was...
Look,
because
I don't know. Maybe Dan Quinn did try to take him out. Maybe Jaden Daniels said, "No, coach. Like,
I don't think Jaden.
I'm going down my ship." You know what I mean?
Jaden's the kind of guy who wants to come out of a game like that. I really don't.
Look, it's
I
happened
don't put anything
before.
on him.
Like, I'm not going to say it's never happened before, but I'm not going to sit here. If I'm a Commanders fan today, like, obviously you're in pain, but, like, I'm not sitting there blaming Dan Quinn. It's not the Joel Embiid. How much were they up on the Raptors?
They were up on
Like
the
20
Raptors.
or
That
something.
series was over. No, it wasn't that much. But the series was over.
Yeah, series was over.
And Embiid was in that game with 2 minutes to go.
And, by the way, when you're winning, that means the other team's probably angry, and there's a chance that there's a cheap shot of some sort.
that happened in the same 20 minutes of the A.J. Brown trade.
Oh, my God, that's right.
We were in Vegas watching it.
Yeah, that's right.
And it
I
happened.
forgot
A slow
about
day in
it.
Philadelphia
Embiid gets
sports.
Embiid and Dan the same thing.
Yeah, so I'm fine with
There
them
you go.
staying in the game. It is a shame what happened because
Terrible.
even though they're division rivals, you never root for that.
Yeah.
All right, what else
For
we
the
got?
record, I agree. It's tough to take them out there. We also have a soccer team heading to the Eastern Conference semis. And I don't know if you guys saw this video circulating on social media a little bit. Nick Picone, who does a great job grabbing like audio from other calls and stuff. We had a bit of a hot mic moment from the Chicago Fire side.
We are back with the halftime show after this break. You're listening to the Chicago Fire on WLS AM 890. So that sucked.
Just some pretty brutally honest how the Union were taking down the Fire.
It's horrible. It's horrible. Now, that broadcast.
That's awesome.
Did you hear the other clip from that broadcast?
No.
No, I didn't.
So, as the.
Look at soccer guy over here. He's king,
that's me.
King of the footy.
I'm Mr. Kicks.
You're the king of the footy.
Philadelphia Kicks with 2 X's. When the game was about to be over, they were up 3-0, and there was a player on the Union egging on the Chicago crowd. And the broadcast was so upset by, like, that's so wrong. That's Bush League, blah. Meanwhile, right before he was doing that, they were chanting racial things toward Andre Blake, the goalie of the Union. But they don't mention that. They just mentioned the player on the Union taunting, but not the fact that their fan base was saying vile things.
By the way, Andre, you want a good one on Andre Blake? Andre Blake.
This is the king of soccer, this show.
Andre Blake, too, taking care of his folks back. He's from Christina's hometown.
Yes.
Yeah.
My wife's hometown. And Andre taking care of some people in Jamaica with the in the hurricane relief.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Good man, still staying connected to his hometown.
By the way, some of the footage from this weekend, now that things have sort of settled, it's some areas, it's
crazy.
devastating what took place.
It's really bad.
All right,
it's
good,
really
good job, Connor, on today's headlines. All right, coming up next, are the Eagles done? Jay Glazer,
Glazer.
he thought not, but the Eagles, of course, made the trade for Jalen Phillips. We'll go back to some of the things that Jay Glazer was reporting. I'll tell you right now, he really thought this was going to happen.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're done, according to Jay Glazer. Minor move. We'll get into that coming up next. Also, I'll give my 3 observations from the rest of the NFL. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. comfort team. Visit opayBryant.com to keep your HVAC in the starting lineup. You know, I might send a Christmas card or a holiday card to Howie Roseman because
he'd want the holiday one.
Yeah, you're right. He'd want the holiday one because it's the Monday after a bye week, and he breaks news to start the week.
Well,
I respect that.
Him doing it on our show, I really appreciate it. Yeah, thank you, Howie.
You know, Monday after a non-Eagles Sunday.
Thanks for doing it on our show,
I
too.
appreciate that, Howie. Thank you very much. So the Eagles acquired Jalen Phillips, edge rusher from the Miami Dolphins, for a third-round pick. Very important to note that it's the Eagles' own third-round pick and not the one they acquired via the Hassan Reddick trade to the New York Jets, which will end up being one of the top 3 third-round picks in next year's draft because of how bad the New York Jets are. Jalen Phillips, a player that's been dealing with injuries before this season, the last 2 seasons. Last year, he actually tore his ACL. I mentioned it to you. He has 3.5 sacks this year, but 3 of them in the last 6 weeks.
See, and I like what you said there, except the point where you said they were rushing the passer in a lot of those other games.
But something that is important to note is maybe he was still getting his sea legs under him after the torn ACL last year, the first couple weeks of the season. Look, and let's face it, we've seen here in Philadelphia, edge rushers do nothing the first half of the season and then go on a tear the second half of the season, like Nolan Smith last year, right? That's exactly who Nolan Smith was.
Or wasn't that Josh Sweat?
Josh Sweat as well, yeah.
Josh Sweat was perfect for that. Constantly.
So Jalen Phillips comes in here with 3.5 sacks. The rest of the room has 4.5. And if you subtract the 1.5 from Zadarius Smith because he retired.
That's amazing. I just feel like this year to me, and it was funny, Shukri was in, we were talking with him, your talk, then hearing Andrew DeCecco. I'm like, okay, I'm a little more okay with it, what they're doing. And the whole draft pick compensation thing makes me much more comfortable.
Yeah.
That makes me much more comfortable that they're going to be able to just take the draft pick and they'll be able to get that a compensatory pick if he walks.
Now, another thing to point out from Albert Breer.
Okay.
To facilitate the trade, the Dolphins agreed to pick up a chunk of Jalen Phillips' remaining salary for 2025.
Even better then.
They wanted the higher pick. So I'm going to guess maybe originally a 4th-round pick, but because the Dolphins are eating up a lot of the salary, the Eagles were sending the 3rd-round pick.
Okay, I like it even more, though.
Another important thing to point out, because Jay Glazer over the weekend mentioned Jalen Phillips and the Eagles. Like, he straight up said,
sure,
Jalen Phillips to the Eagles looks like a possibility. But he believes the Eagles will still be one of the more aggressive teams before tomorrow's trade deadline.
He
mentions the Seahawks, Bears, Niners, Cowboys, and Eagles.
About what?
Just being more aggressive.
Well, what would they be going for
several different positions? Well, remember, Jair Alexander happens as well over the weekend. We'll see what that entails.
But Jay Glazer knew that.
You mentioned the offensive line depth. Maybe there's still something waiting in the weeds there.
That's because I listen to the DeCecco podcast where I pick up all kinds of great stuff. So make sure you're subscribing to that.
Yeah.
Get on and make sure you download it.
So Jay Glazer saying the Eagles will be one of the more aggressive teams. And he mentioned Jalen Phillips by name, but he said multiple positions. So maybe the Eagles aren't done yet. It's probably going to be minor moves. Like it's, maybe it's another like a John Mechie type where it's just a body at some point.
Yeah, we get a lot of names here, and then the names aren't really like anything. Like there's a lot of there's shopping in name brand aisles, but as I was telling Shukri, a lot of times it's like you're picking up something where you go, yeah, it's a name brand item, but you know what, it has BO in it, or something. If you're thrifting, but anybody who's ever thrifted.
But Jalen Phillips walks in and he's already with all due respect to Jalen Hunt, I've been consistent.
By the way, he's been someone trending up.
Last week, he had a very good week. The week before, a lot of people fell in love with the pick 6.
Okay.
Getting after the quarterback last week was the first week where he was doing it a lot. I will give him credit against the New York Giants. I didn't want to go into the season with Jalen Hunt being my 70% of the snap edge rusher on one side opposite of Nolan Smith. I still don't want that to be the case. So to me, you bring in Jalen Phillips, who, one, can ease in Nolan Smith a little bit. Right, Nolan Smith is coming off of an injury.
Okay.
And so are you expecting him to just go out there and play 80% of the snaps right away? Probably not.
Are you expecting that Phillips is ready to do that?
I don't know what his percentage total is already.
Is he going to be able to come in here and just play immediately a ton of snaps? or is there going to be a learning curve?
Oh, there's probably going to be a bit of a
because we're all
learning
worried
curve.
about. But with Vic Fangio, he probably won't have as big a learning curve, and that may have been part.
Well,
of
that's
it.
right, because he played for him a couple of years
Correct.
ago. But this then now Brandon Graham only needs to play like 8 snaps.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
No, there's a lot to like about
Jalen
this.
Hunt can really focus on his 40 to 50% of the snaps.
The more you get into this, there's more to like.
I'm very
There is
confident.
more to like.
By the way, I'm also it's what I've been wanting. Edge rusher help. So it's like
And he is.
thanks, Howie.
He is. Would you have wanted Chubb more, Connor? Would you have rather had Chubb or at a cheaper price?
I guess. I don't really know what either of the guys are going to be. Like, your criticisms of how much do they fit in and how much do they give you is fair for either of those players. But what you look at is you just get a young enough player that still has potential upside in a contract year, like we brought up a couple of
That's
times.
a big one.
Which he's motivated. So I think it could be something with a high upside for the Birds.
Okay.
And with the
that's
draft,
fair.
and with the draft picks they already have in house too. I saw a lot of the comments because I like to read through whenever the NFL tweets out, like the main account tweets out the Eagles have made a trade. The replies are gold because people are so pissed at Howie Roseman.
Like, why? Oh, my God, Howie did it again?
Yes. And a lot of the comments were, how many draft picks do the Eagles have? How do they keep doing this? And we know they've got even more. So I like the move.
Okay.
High
I mean,
upside.
and there's a lot more to like than at first glance. So it's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right, hit me with some football music as I give you my 3 observations from the rest of the NFL on a bye week, week 9. We got to just sit back and watch the rest of the league. All right, I'm going to start with number 1. Does it feel like the Rams aren't talked about much in Philadelphia right now?
Yes.
Why? Is it because the Eagles...
Because we already beat them.
They beat them, and in the playoffs last year, the Rams are still a very good football team. I know this. I know this. I know this. I know the Saints stink, but the Rams are 6-2, and the Stafford to the Kua connection is ridiculous, and the Rams defense is pretty good. I just feel like we're talking about like 1 seeds and all that kind of stuff, and we don't really talk about the Rams all that much.
I keep trying to bring it up because people are like, the Rams could have won both of the last 2 matchups here in Philadelphia. They were right there, ball in their hand, chance to win it. It took 2 block kicks to beat them this time.
Right.
It's not they're a dangerous bunch to worry about.
0-3 in their last 3 against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yep.
I guess that's all that matters for people. We talked about this last week. How real are they? Talking about the Indianapolis Colts. They're 7-2. They've been playing great. They were handled their second loss yesterday against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Again, the teams they've beaten this year, the Dolphins, the Broncos by a point. Good win.
That's a good win.
The Titans, they lost to the Rams. They beat the Raiders. They beat the Cardinals. They beat the Chargers. Good win. They beat the Titans. They played the Steelers yesterday and lost. They play the Chiefs, Texans, Jags, Seahawks, Niners in a 5-week stretch.
Okay.
After they play the Falcons this upcoming Sunday overseas.
All right.
We'll see how real the Colts are during that 5-week stretch. I think they're a good football team, but I wonder how real the 7-1 start was before yesterday's loss to the Steelers.
Well, if you listen to our picks on Friday.
I know, you took Pittsburgh.
I picked Pittsburgh on the money line.
Yes, I was very proud of you for that
And, look, sometimes it happens.
All right, lastly, I don't believe the Panthers are real. I don't believe the Cowboys sneak in. So I have a question in my observations today.
Okay.
Which division has 3 playoff teams? You have the NFC North with the Packers, Lions, Bears, and Vikings, all at least 500. Packers 5-2-1, Lions 5-3, Bears 5-3, Vikings 4-4. But you also have the NFC West with the Seahawks, Rams, and Niners all at 6 wins. Seahawks 6-2, Rams 6-2, Niners 6-3.
West.
Why?
Not even a question to me.
Why do we feel? But why?
Because I think the West is
across the board.
I think the West is. I think it's better off. I think there'll be 2 teams out of the. I don't think the Bears are going. I think the Vikings are going.
Okay.
Yeah, those West teams, like the 49ers have pedigree, even though they got guys banged up.
So hurt.
I know.
Their schedule's weak.
Pedigree.
It's a
Great
really
head coach. Rams pedigree. Great head coach. then that Seahawks team is just they're a talented team.
It's amazing. They're 4-0 on the road, the Seahawks. 2-2 at home.
I'm telling you, people are sleeping on the Seahawks. I just keep hearing, Pete, Seahawks suck.
Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold's playing amongst the best in the NFL at quarterback.
Coming up next. What is Vegas thinking about the race for the 1 seed? We talked about it earlier this show, how much you value what other teams are doing when you compare them to the Eagles. You had a chance to watch the entire NFL other than the Eagles because of the bye week yesterday. I have the updated win totals as of this morning, Johnny.
Okay.
Is the path to the 1 seed clear? How much debris is on it? And how much did the trade for Jalen Phillips change it? We'll get into that coming up next. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
The Dunk.
This morning, either on the radio or any of your streaming devices, or watching the show on YouTube, which you can do as well. Shout out to our YouTube community as always. Big day today with the Eagles acquiring Jalen Phillips for the 3rd-round pick via the Miami Dolphins. Something to also make note of, John, to continue to try to make you feel even better about this trade.
Okay, what do you got?
So we remember the Eagles had 13 draft picks coming into the season after they made some trades during the offseason. And Adam Schefter, to his credit, said to us all the time how he can't draft that many players. Like, he's going to have to move some of those picks either for down the road or for help in season. And he did say to us a couple of times, don't worry about the roster right now. You'll see how he does during the trade deadline. Now, I don't always want to bank on the trade deadline, but this is a nice pickup. The Eagles, even after the trade for Jalen Phillips, giving up their own 3rd-round pick, they actually have 2 third-round picks still. So they have their 1st-round pick, 2nd-round pick, the 3rd-round pick via the Jets. They have the compensatory pick from Milton Williams.
That's it. So that's really, but after the 3rd round's done.
Sure.
But that's still nice. Yeah,
then you have
nice.
the 4th-round pick of their own, 4th-round compensatory pick from Josh Sweat, 5th-round pick, 5th-round compensatory pick for Mekhi Becton, and then they also acquired the 7th-round pick from the Jair Alexander trade, where the Eagles acquired Jair Alexander, giving up a 6th-round pick and getting Alexander and a 7th in return.
All right.
So they still have 9 draft picks.
Plenty of time.
Majority of them in rounds 3 through 5, which you know Howie will package to either move up or move back or whatever.
He's going to get better value in the earlier round.
Sure. So
okay. No. You've done a good job then you're making a good case for it.
I'm glad.
It's it is one that I just say is that it is weird. And one of our listeners, who is a listener to Post Show Headlines, Stephen D.
Hello, Stephen.
Sends along, says, now Andrew and you were just talking on Post Show Headlines last week about how you didn't like the fact that the Sixers seemed like the roster was always in flux.
Yes.
Under Daryl Morey. So why are we supposed to like it for the Eagles?
Because the Sixers roster was in flux trading for stars. The Eagles have a core. Like,
doesn't this year, though, seem very fluxy?
I guess compared to previous years. But
yeah, I think it does.
But like the Sixers were looking to make trades to literally change the roster. Like not add to. Like it was, who are you acquiring for Ben Simmons, your all-star point guard? Who are you acquiring for James Harden, the point guard that you almost came close to being the Celtics again?
It doesn't seem that way, though, with this. The way they're doing this, it doesn't to you?
Also, the Sixers have 5 guys on the floor, right?
Right.
It's a little bit different to try and have to build that chemistry between your 5 starters for a basketball team than it is to say, we got an edge rusher, go kill the quarterback.
Right. And oh, by the way, you're 6-2 acquiring that type of player, whereas the Sixers would be like hovering around 500. Is Joel Embiid's knee intact? Who's going to save the season this year? So that's why I don't feel the same way.
No, that makes a good point.
Give us a couple text messages. I'm curious what the people are saying on the text line. I've been very busy. The reaction to the Jalen Phillips trade, and then I'll give you some of the updated win totals since this past weekend slate.
So Ryan in Florida checks in, and he brings up what we mentioned earlier about Jalen Phillips being tied for 60th in sacks. And, John, you were questioning where the improvement is on that. But he brings up that the Dolphins don't have a Jalen Carter playing next to him. They also don't have a Quinyon Mitchell or Cooper DeJean in coverage. The situation here could lead to more opportunity.
Great point. Can't argue with that. That is a factual argument.
They're also 2-7. He goes to a 6-2 team.
I don't want to hear that, though.
No,
I'm serious, though.
I think that's human nature.
On that one, though, yeah, but you know what, though? I hate that human nature. Like, I don't like that human nature. If I'm acquiring an athlete who sort of checks out on their situation.
Luis Robert Jr., breakout season coming to you soon. All right, give us another text message.
Joe from Boston checks in, says, Fangio and the Eagles' chance of a championship will turn okay performing the players this year, like Jair Alexander and Jalen Phillips, the dominant players. Change of scenery for some players is all that's needed to up their game.
I'm not about to say that Vic Fangio will turn Jair Alexander to a dominant player.
Okay, that's good.
He was a healthy scratch for a good football team in Baltimore, despite their record. All right, that's a defensive.
I don't think he's even. I got to tell you, I don't even really think he's playing.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm intrigued. I'm not about to say that he's going to be the Green Bay Packers Jair Alexander pre-injury.
I think
I'm not getting there.
Two organizations that are great with personnel.
Yeah, I'm not.
Have both said, yeah, we're good. Go.
We'll see about Jalen Phillips. What
Yes,
else
we
we
will.
got? Give us one more text message.
All right, one more on this. Bill in Harleysville checks in, says Howie trading a bag of balls to get Jair Alexander leads me to believe what all the insiders are saying. Pass rush is his focus. Adding an upper-tier edge rusher is way more important and more achievable given the players known to be available. Let Howie cook. So I imagine Bill in Harleysville, when he sent that at 7:28 this morning, was pretty excited to then hear the Jalen Phillips news.
I would imagine he would be, yeah.
Am I an insider?
You might be.
Because he said all the insiders were saying edge rusher. So am I trying to step on Bill Colarulo's
Wait a minute,
territory?
had Bill reported it yet?
He did say it last week.
His reporting?
He was wearing his Donatello costume. Or whichever Ninja Turtle he was.
I thought it was Ed Donatello.
I don't know. I don't remember which turtle he was. I find that
He was the
amusing.
Purple John. I don't know their names
amusing.
by color, though.
All right, the win totals. Now, there's a reason why I want to do this. Because, as you know, John, Vegas doesn't want to lose money.
No.
All right? So
They do not.
updated win totals midway through the season is something important to look at because Vegas takes everything into account. It's not just vibes. It's the strength of the team that they're giving the numbers for, but also the strength of their schedule.
Right, and they're trying to get money on both sides, too.
Correct. Exactly.
When they set a line.
So right now there is one team in the NFL with an over-under of 12.5, and that is the Buffalo Bills. That's the only team, and you have been saying all season long that their schedule, especially late up until that Eagles game.
Yeah, I have a feeling that
pretty light.
Yeah, it's going to be light.
So they have 12.5. Here are the teams in the NFC that are at 11.5. Seattle, LA, the Rams, the Bucks, and the Eagles. Only 4.
Okay.
Now remember, the Eagles already have the head-to-head with Tampa, which is key.
That's huge.
You've mentioned the conference wins with the Seahawks. The Eagles only have one conference loss.
They have 2 conference losses already.
And you have the head-to-head against the Rams.
Right.
That's another key thing. The Lions, by the way, they have at 10.5, as well as the Niners and Packers.
Wow, I could see the Bucks. Where do they have the Bucks?
11.5 also. With
Okay,
the Eagles.
the Bucks are
but
right
the Eagles
there.
have the head-to-head.
Right, exactly.
So if we're talking about the road to the 1 seed and the path to the 1 seed, Vegas has all these teams at the same over-under win total, but the Eagles have the key sort of head-to-head stuff and tiebreakers.
They do.
Which is huge. The
it's
1
huge.
seed, the path to the 1 seed, there might be some debris on there. But if you get some good tires, you'll be able to go over it, all right?
Your analogies. And you with tires?
Yeah, dude.
Sort of not the analogy we need right
I've
now.
been good recently because I've avoided going down the same roads.
That's good.
All right, coming up next, Packers, then Lions. Monday Night Football next week against the Packers, and then you follow that up with a matchup against the Lions. Which of the next 2 games do you feel more confident in? We'll discuss that next. It is Kincade and Salciunas here on 97.5 The Fanatic. All right, let's talk about your house. Time to pull out those holiday decorations. So I got to tell you about what we do for my wife. November 24th is her birthday. We always celebrate by decorating. So that means November 23rd, I'm going to have to pull everything out from the basement. All right, get everything ready. But until then, they're still in the out-of-sight space that my basement is. Your basement, of course, though, needs to be safe and dry. Because if your basement is showing any problem signs like condensation, wet floors and walls, musty smells, mold, and rot, Groundworks is here to help. Because these problem signs can be an indicator that your home might be due for basement waterproofing. The experts at Groundworks know what works and what doesn't, from wall anchors to vapor barriers, sump pumps, dehumidifiers. They've seen it all. They can do it all, and this includes encapsulating your crawl space and making that a safe space for your valuable belongings and add storage. We don't just have holiday decorations down there. We have a lot of Coop's artwork from daycare. Now, here's the deal. I have been in a house that had water damage in the basement, and the house that I'm currently living in, I know the previous owners had water damage in the basement. It sucks. It destroys things, and it is not something that is just easily fixed afterward, right? You got to get it. You got to dry it out. You got to clean it up. Then you get everything fixed up. So instead of waiting till you have a pool in your basement, why don't you take care of it beforehand? Just visit groundworks.com, get a free inspection, and a no-pressure quote today. Groundworks will inspect your whole home to find the cause of the problem, and they'll fix it once and for all. Groundworks, there's a reason why. They're the trusted local experts.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
3 trades for the Birds. I'm Connor Thomas, and it was a wild day so far today on the morning show. And it was a wild weekend with the Eagles on bye. They still made a couple big-time moves. Last week, they got Michael Carter II, a corner from the Jets. Saturday, they got Jair Alexander, a corner from the Ravens, and also swapped a 6th-round pick for a 7th-round pick from Baltimore. And then earlier this morning, they acquired edge rusher Jalen Phillips from the Dolphins for a 2026 3rd-round pick. Howie Roseman has been cooking, so we'll keep our eye out with the trade deadline tomorrow what more the Eagles could possibly do. You also saw some good stuff happen in the NFC from the Eagles' perspective. Giants, Commanders, Lions, and Packers all lost this weekend, so Eagles now atop the NFC. Sixers took down the Nets 129-105 last night to move to 5-1. Union advanced to the Eastern Conference semis with a 3-0 win. 3-0 win, I should say, Saturday over the Chicago Fire, but it wasn't all clean in Philly over the weekend. Flyers had a couple of rough losses. Coach Rick Tocchet talked about it after the game.
If you want to play in April and March, May and stuff like that, you got to play hard hockey, and I think we're finding easy ice. A lot of guys, even some of our best players, they want to play the easy ice, not the hard ice. That's the bottom line.
It's an off night tonight in Philadelphia sports, so a chance for everyone to watch Monday Night Football. This update is brought to you by Aleve. Traffic and body pain can slow you down, but don't let the pain stop you. With just one pill, Aleve provides up to 12 hours of pain relief so you can keep moving. Use as directed. I'm Connor Thomas on your own for the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic.
Kincade Salciunas.
98 Beasley Media Group Station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. No re-rack today because we had breaking news during the show. So everything that happened prior to the third-round pick, that's gone. It's like when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, right? It's a new season. Nick Sirianni, what's banner night? That doesn't exist. So our 6 a.m. topic, that's done for.
No, it's done for today, and that rarely happens to us.
Oh, yeah, we never get breaking news, again, unless it's Chauncey Billups getting pulled out of his bed and being arrested.
I walked outside. John Marks and Ray are real pissed about it. Like, they're pissed at the Eagles. Yeah, they're pissed that the Eagles stepped in and gave us breaking news.
Well, dude, for the longest time, it was the 2 o'clock.
Well, Ty got it. Ty and the gang got it
Mikey
all.
Miss. I can't tell you how many times producing Middays, news would break at like 1:54. We'd be in commercial. And it's like, really?
Yeah, Middays gets pressers, though.
That's true.
The real tough spot is where we're at in the morning. It's a hard job, but somebody's got to do it.
And nobody cares about us little people here.
By the way, quickly, speaking of little people, Andrew, 15-20, pending tonight's game. 15-20 against the spread.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Connor, 19-17.
Great year.
You're still saying 53%. You're right ahead of the VIG a little bit. And 24-11 with a 3-0 week, hoping to go 4-0 tonight. 24-11.
I support it.
Sort of running away with it a little bit, but you know it's going to plummet. You can't pick. You cannot pick at this rate. But right now, follow my picks.
I just keep supporting it. See, I'm a good friend, unlike you guys.
You are a good friend with it.
I'm praying on your downfall.
Yeah, exactly.
Both
Connor's
of you.
rooting for
Well, I'm just praying. I'm already downfalling. Let me,
And
No, I
I'm
have a
praying for
feeling-
more downfall.
Connor, you haven't distanced yourself from Andrew, though.
Yeah, you better watch out.
I'm a little worried about that for you.
Better watch
Because
out.
he likes to make the comeback.
I just want to keep him engaged so he knows that he might have a chance. I don't want to see
so
him.
you're doing
yeah.
it all. You're doing it on purpose.
Little sympathy
All right,
loss
I
here or
see
there.
how it is. All right. So before we get back to our reaction on the Jalen Phillips trade, so Packers Lions the next 2 weeks. Monday Night Football against the Green Bay Packers, and then of course the big battle with the Detroit Lions. So you have a question, Johnny, about which game we're a little bit more confident in. Again, the game against the Packers will be on the road in Lambeau, and then the Sunday night game at home against the Lions. By the way, for those of you, including our own Haley Taylor Simon, who are traveling to see the Eagles take on the Packers because of our friends at Philly Sports Trips, you guys want to guess what the temp will be at kickoff?
12.
Well, not that low.
19.
30.
Okay.
30 degrees
Oh, it's
at
going to
kickoff.
feel. No, it's going to feel like it's 19.
Sunday, they are already calling for a chance of snow.
Oh, yes, sir.
So there might be snow in the area.
Oh, it's not. There's always snow in the area. I mean, believe me, there's always snow in that area.
So 30
This is good.
30 degrees at kickoff. By 10 o'clock, again, they're an hour behind us, it will be 26 degrees. Wind only at 10 miles per hour. So that's manageable. It's when it's the 20-mile-an-hour winds when it's also cold is when it gets a little bit dangerous.
And none of you guys, just to make sure, none of you guys have done Lambeau.
No, and I've told you when I
Haley,
do, I want to go when it's cold.
It's an amazing experience. It's totally wild to go to a game in the middle of a neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like, imagine driving in a Delco neighborhood and then coming about, like, you go sort of, go around a bend, and there's the stadium.
That's kind of what Notre Dame was like for me.
Yes.
I parked on somebody's lawn.
Okay.
Gave him $20.
Okay, what Notre Dame was for you, though, Notre Dame is like urban. It's like New York compared to this. It's unbelievable.
Right, because there's a campus, whereas this is literally just, here's the field.
They're going to have so much fun. Haley's going to have a great time.
How much do you think the house across the street's worth?
Oh, it's huge. It's the housing,
they're not big houses.
No, the housing. No, they're like Cape Cods.
Yeah.
They're like the little Cape Cods.
I wonder how much a house
Like,
out there
it's
costs.
what I grew up in Broomall. Very similar houses. But I guarantee you that land, and they've been approached because people could put, the city will not allow them to put parking lots.
Okay.
So people have tried to do, I want to have this zone commercial and then sell it. They can't get the property zone commercial. So they can't say, like, we want to build an Xfinity Live across from it. They don't allow it. So people can't sell the house and make it, I want to turn my house into a parking lot. You can turn your front lawn into one.
There was a home that just sold 2 years ago. And it's it looks like my parents' shore house.
Okay.
Which is not like it's not one of the four level.
So they don't have one of the monstrosities?
No, they don't. It's sold for $700,000
It's amazing.
because it's right across the street from Lambeau Field, and it's not a $700,000 home. All right, so to answer your question, I believe
I wanna know which one.
the Lions game, despite it being in Philadelphia, is the more difficult one. And the reason being, there was a lot of talk from the Lions players that if we were not hurt, much like Deebo Samuel did a couple of years ago with the San Francisco 49ers, if we were not hurt, we would have won that football game. The Detroit Lions can say, if we were not hurt, we would have beaten the Commanders and we would have hosted the Eagles in the NFC Championship game, and that would have been more of a battle than the way it did go, where the Commanders beat the Lions and the Eagles beat the crap out of the Commanders. Now, I understand the same could be said for the Packers, right? The Packers played the Eagles tough in the playoff game and with all the tush-push nonsense. But I believe the Lions, because I also think the Lions are the better team still, will be the more difficult task in the next 2 weeks.
Connor?
I've also got to go with the Lions. I don't like Jordan Love all that much. I really don't. I'm sorry, and I never will be a Jordan Love guy, and I'm not changing that, and maybe that's short-sighted, but Jared Goff is a much more dangerous quarterback, which to me is the most important position, and the Lions are just playing better football right now.
I'm not doing it in a, not that you're disrespecting the Packers, I'm not doing it in a Packers stink way. It's just I think the Lions are the better football team, and because of the reasons I just gave you. Like, Amon Ross St. Brown was all over the podcasts this offseason talking about how if they were healthy, they would have beaten.
Okay, here's my point on this and why I think this. I get everything that you guys just said, and I think it's very valid. Your opinions are extremely valid. So I validated your thought process. But I believe everybody in town is going to say, oh, the Packer game's the more winnable. Packer game's the one that you can go win. The Eagles are heading into a hornet's nest. I think it's horrible. Going on the road on Monday Night Football to someone's building is tough. Going on the road after they just had that loss at home in that building, I think is going to make it twice as tough. So whatever happens next Monday night, should the Eagles lose, then everybody will switch it to, oh, well, they're going to beat the Lions. The same people will switch to, oh, they're going to beat the Lions. The same people who will tell you, oh, they got this Packers game, will be the ones to tell you, they got this Lions game. And the Lions game's scary as hell. Mm-hmm. I agree with you. The Lions, to me, are the scarier opponent, but it's the much more winnable game. The Lions away from the Dome is completely different.
Yeah, I understand the home away, and I understand Lambeau. I am not feeling what you're feeling about Hornets Nest with this Green Bay team.
Okay.
I'm not. I just watched Bryce Young go in there and beat them. Like, I'm not worried about that.
That's the reason that I think it's going to be a Hornets Nest.
Bounce back.
That's the reason that I think it will be a Hornets Nest, is because of the fact that you're going in there and they're going to all week long. This is going to be for Green Bay Sports Radio, by the way, and it is fun. I love tormenting.
Oh, I'm sure.
I love it.
This is their Super Bowl.
They're going to lose, but they're going to lose their minds.
Sure, buzz. You tied the Cowboys and you lost to the Browns. We'll see you Monday night.
Okay.
By the way, Eagles 2.5-point dogs.
What does that line tell you?
2.5-point favorites.
Tells me we bet the Eagles.
No, but what does that line? No, I see that line tells you. That line tells you the Eagles are a sucker bet.
Eagles are coming off the bye.
The Eagles are a sucker bet.
So,
bet the Eagles. Sucker bet.
Sirianni undefeated off the bye. Mm-hmm. Smart bet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it might be. I'm just saying. I look at the Lions as the more dangerous threat to the Eagles moving forward. All right, what do we got on the text line? Jalen Phillips acquired by the Philadelphia Eagles this morning in exchange for a third-round pick. Eagles, don't forget, have the compensatory pick, so later in the third round, technically when the third round's over, for the Milton Williams signing with the New England Patriots. And the Eagles also have one of the first third-round picks because of the trade they made for Hassan Reddick, trading away Hassan Reddick after the 2022 season, 23 season.
All right, Mike from Phoenixville checks in on Jair Alexander and says he kind of gives me Kevin Byard vibes, but if he can get you similar to what you got from Slay last year, then we're golden.
I'm not comparing Alexander to anybody. Byard was at least playing at a decent level before the Eagles acquired him. Jair Alexander's been literally a healthy scratch.
Jair Alexander is not playing like Slay.
Right.
He can't give you Slay of last year. He's just been gotten rid of. Like, two teams just walked away from this guy in the past calendar year.
I'm just intrigued. Maybe Vic finds something. I don't know. I'm intrigued because I don't like what you already have. That's why I'm intrigued. But I'm not sitting here telling you, oh, be excited, and then I get to text like Kevin Byard vibes. Like, no, Byard at least was playing. Jair Alexander's getting healthy scratched. All right, what else we got?
All right, we also have a check-in here. This texter, Corey in Cherry Hill, says, Jair, if healthy, will be better than Adoree' and Ringo. Bennett, I have not seen enough. It's low risk, high reward.
It's ridiculous.
That's it. Low risk is totally true.
Okay, again, why are people just saying that he's going to be better than all these guys?
Because they already don't like him.
They don't have any.
No, I know, but that's why.
But Jair Alexander has no pedigree anymore.
It's the same people who want to trade Joel Embiid for a bag of balls, who want Nick Castellanos to never play baseball in this town again.
All right, I got you.
They're
Because
tired. They're tired. It's the
Jair
fatigue
Alexander, people have no idea.
And by the way, cornerback. I know there are people that really loved Keely Ringo coming into the season, which I still don't understand. But like people were already worried about Adoree' Jackson, and it didn't look good. People were already worried about Keely Ringo, and it hadn't looked good. So maybe this is just hey, we'll see what happens.
Adoree', terrible start, got better.
And then
Keely
he got
Ringo,
hurt.
terrible start, got better.
Yeah.
We'll see.
By the way, that's not
Jair
something new with
Alexander's-
Vic Fangio.
If he ends up giving you 2/3 of what Slay gave you last year, first of all, I don't believe it's happened. But if he did, that'd be great. Be awesome. We'd be thrilled.
What are Dolphins people saying about the trade? I'll tell you about that coming up next. And we'll discuss where the Eagles are as we continue to look at the path to the 1 seed. There's some debris, but you can see it. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey, everybody.
get back to some of this Eagles talk as I have some Miami outlook on the trade of Jalen Phillips going to the Philadelphia Eagles. Not somebody from the National, but somebody that covers the Miami Dolphins. We have a 4-pack of tickets to give away for Temple Hoops, Johnny. Tough loss for the Owls football squad over the weekend. Still one win away.
Still one win away.
Still one win away
Just
from
getting
being
me
bowl
nervous
eligible.
now.
Yeah, it was a tough loss. They got spanked.
Yeah, they got beat.
But we got Temple basketball. Their season opener against Delaware State this Wednesday, November 5th. So 2 days from now at the
Get
Lee
after it,
Core
Coach
Center.
Fish.
Get your tickets now at TUOwlstix.com. That's TUOwlstix.com.
Okay.
You can also head to 975thefanatic.com and enter for another chance to win tickets to the game. So 4-pack of tickets. Let's go the 7th person in John's honor.
That's always good.
7th person to text in the number 7
That's good.
at 610-632-0975. Either spell it out or the number itself, whatever you want to do. 7th person to text 7 to 610-632-0975 will get the 4-pack of tickets.
By the way, little preview. When I'm on Price is Right, 7 comes into play.
Wait, you were on Prices, right?
Yeah, June 29th, baby. Comes into play. We finally get to see it. It's only like 3 weeks away.
By the way, speaking of Delaware State, I thought it was so cool that Lincoln Financial Field was packed for the Delaware State-Norfolk State game. That's the Deshaun Jackson versus Michael Vick battle.
They had a good crowd. They sold a lot more tickets than they had people. Like, they sold more tickets.
Sure.
A lot of people bought tickets and then didn't. They did it to support it and then didn't show up. But that Temple crowd on Sunday?
Well, I was about to say, with all due respect to our
That's what I'm
Owls,
saying.
there were more people at the Norfolk
There were.
State-Delaware State games
There
than
were.
a weekly Temple game. However, there's a very important
Don't tell me the Halloween crap.
Halloween crap.
I don't want to hear it.
Bro.
Do you realize Halloween's always gone on in football season and goes on in every single college campus? Every single college campus.
Yeah, but you're used to freaking Georgia, dude. Like this.
No, I mean, I was just doing Temple. Dude, I went to Temple, and we went to football games, in football.
That's because you weren't invited to the Halloween parties.
No, I went to the Halloween parties the night before. I bet you I was out much later than you were, considering Grandpa. You like your late
college
nights.
was different for me.
Oh,
I'm
was?
telling you,
Is that what it did it to you?
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm a different person.
It all changed?
There's a lot of things that are in the past.
This is funny. This is like Darius Slay watching Adoree Jackson and Keely Ringo compete when you guys are talking about staying out late.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Shut
It's
up.
like I always like it though. It is a charming thing, and you'll find it more as you get a little older.
Yeah.
When people act like stuff's just been invented. Like, well, Halloween was this weekend. Oh, really? Like during college football season. Okay, I got you. Yeah. It's a new holiday just invented.
No, I want to like. How many people were at the games when you were in college?
They were. By the way, we actually did pretty well.
All right.
Like we it was Bruce Arians. First of all, was the first time we were ever any good.
I'll try to find the attendance from those games.
There was it, but it was much more than today. Let's put it that way. Much more.
I didn't know you guys celebrated Halloween back
And it
then.
was yeah, they did.
All right, so Ross Tucker, I saw put this out on social media. And Ross obviously does a great job covering the NFL. He does the Eagles stuff during the preseason.
He did the Chargers-Tennessee game yesterday on CBS with Tom McCarthy.
How about that? Oh, that's awesome. He quote tweeted an account from it's dolphinstalk.com. So if Ross Tucker is saying this is something to read, then I'm going to read it.
Good.
Phillips will do great with Vic in Philly. But coming off the Achilles and ACL injuries, he isn't the same player he was before the injuries, if we are going to be honest. I'm a little surprised Miami got a third for him, but Philly got a good player and a better person. I like good people. That's nice.
We like
now,
that.
again, we mentioned it earlier, Albert Breer reporting that the Dolphins ate a huge chunk of the salary
To get the better pick.
And who knows, maybe that opens the door for Howie to acquire another depth player of some sort. I know you want to still see a body on the offensive line acquired.
As I heard on the Checo podcast, I was glad to be on the same page as him with that.
So maybe giving up more in terms of draft capital to still have money to acquire somebody else. Maybe that's an important nugget. So somebody that covers the Dolphins says, yeah, good player, not the same after the injuries, but maybe a reunion with Vic Fangio will help out a little bit.
Okay.
So there you go.
No, it sounds good. It's just if you're looking for impact, let's hope he can give us something of impact.
Hey, you didn't get Myles Garrett. You got, a guy that might be, though, the best one in your room. for all we know.
The Jair Alexander talk, though, is truly fascinating.
It's going to look so much better, both of these trades, tomorrow at, when's the deadline, 4 p.m.?
Yes.
Tomorrow at 4:01 p.m., these trades are going to look so much better.
Why? Because you're not going to see much else in the league?
You're going to see the quality of player or the lack of players that are actually moved and realize that the Eagles are already atop the NFC and added 3 guys who could potentially
because think about it. Who's selling right now? Look around the NFL. Who's like actually selling? So Jets and Dolphins.
I think the Commanders will be selling.
Yeah, now that Jaden, you're right. So now that Jaden Daniels is hurt,
I think that the Giants are going to sell.
I doubt the Browns really believe in themselves. But like you look at the AFC North, the Browns are 2-6, and they're 3 wins back at the Steelers.
Yeah, they're not.
I don't think they're buyers.
No, they're going to sell.
But the Bengals, who are 3-6, they're still going. Man, if we could just not give up 75 points to the Chicago Bears. Oh, by the way, the Bengals have a bad defense yet again. They're still in the mix. The AFC South, the Texans get handed another loss yesterday, but are the Texans going to sell? They're 3-5. Or are they going to still try to push for a wild card?
I don't think D'Amico Ryans is going to be keen on them selling anything.
I don't think so. And then the Raiders, so Titans-Raiders, right? So you have 4 or 5 teams in the AFC that could be sellers.
Cardinals are not. They've already said they're not, but what if they lose tonight?
Then maybe. Yeah,
then maybe they're
fall,
thinking
if they fall to 2-6. The Saints will be sellers. Do the Falcons sell? I don't think so.
I don't think so, no. Again, because you got a coach that's trying to keep his job, and Raheem Morris will probably be on the unemployment line again.
Yeah. And then there's the Giants. The Giants might trade. Thibodeau's been the name that's popped up a lot because he's a free agent after this year.
And they're not probably going to re-sign him.
Right. And so that's something to keep an eye on. But,
that makes sense.
But there's not many players that are or teams that are out. Because you mentioned it earlier. We talked about the parity of the NFL
What
earlier
do you think
today.
it is, too, by the way? Is it parity?
Well, it's the extra wild card team. It's like baseball, right?
Yeah,
the extra wild card team keeps everybody in the mix.
But nobody's really running away with anything, and usually you have more elite teams. And if the Colts are your elite team,
well, and I pointed out, look at the wins the Colts have. They've out of their 7 wins, they have 2 wins where you go, that's a good win.
Right.
And they lost to 2 teams where you're like, huh.
They're like last year's Minnesota.
You wonder how real are they? And if you're a team in the AFC, do you go, we're not that scared of that team?
No.
Look, there's a reason why. If you look at the Super Bowl odds, the Colts aren't one of the top teams. Colts are behind the Chiefs, Bills, Eagles, Lions, Rams, and Packers.
Yeah. People aren't believing in them.
No. All right, coming up next, we'll check our text line. Packers. This past week, was it a trap game? Micah Parsons tried saying no, but I think they were looking ahead a little bit. Also, we have Connor Thomas's 3 observations from the rest of the NFL. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Howie Roseman getting busy. I'm Connor Thomas, and this update is brought to you by our friends over at Aleve. Traffic and body pain can slow you down, but don't let the pain stop you with just one pill. Aleve provides up to 12 hours of pain relief so you can keep moving. Use as directed. Howie Roseman has made now 3 trades ahead of tomorrow's NFL trade deadline. First, acquiring cornerback Michael Carter from the Jets. That was last week. Then Saturday, Jair Alexander comes into town via trade with the Baltimore Ravens that also saw the Eagles swap a 6th-round pick for Baltimore's 7th-round selection. And today, this morning, the Eagles acquired edge rusher Jalen Phillips from the Dolphins for a 2026 3rd-round pick. So the Eagles have 2 at corner, 1 at edge, and we still got till 4 p.m. tomorrow for the trade deadline to take effect. So there could be more coming from Howie Roseman. The Eagles had the bye week this week and saw some good stuff happen in the NFC with the Giants, Commanders, Lions, and Packers all losing. Sixers took down the Nets 129-105 last night. The Union advanced to the Eastern Conference semis with a 3-0 win Saturday over the Chicago Fire. But the Flyers, they had a rough weekend, and Coach Rick Tocchet talked about it after yesterday's 2-1 loss to the Flames.
Well, you got to keep pounding it, right? And we got to find people who want to continue to do it. So we'll find them. But it's my job to get these guys to do it, right? You had a good record going in 2 games ago, and we just the will wasn't there the last 2 games. We just didn't have the will.
Flyers also have a night off tonight, so you got time for Monday Night Football if you're a Philadelphia sports fan. I'm Connor Thomas on your own for the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
congratulations to Jason from Pottstown, who was the winner of the Temple basketball tickets for Wednesday night's contest. Now, I did some research during the commercial break about the attendance at Temple games back in your heyday. So what years did you go?
80. So you're talking about the football seasons of 83, 84, 85, 86.
All right, so 83. They did not play at the end of October around Halloween time. But on October 22nd, there were 18,000 people. That was in Delaware. I'm sorry.
Pick one.
On November 12th against Louisville, they had 3,000
Yeah, that was the first year. That was the first year of the new coach.
All right, then 84. November 3rd was the closest home game to Halloween. They went up to 6,500.
Okay.
Against Cincinnati. And then the following year, they did not have home games in all of October and November. What the hell happened in 1985?
It was the scheduling of by that time of Bruce Arians. I mean, I went to games in West Virginia.
Okay.
Penn State.
And then 86, your senior year, the closest game to Halloween was.
Which game was that year?
Oh man, I don't even know. October 25th. There was 19,000 at that one.
Yeah, the average attendance was much better when we were at college. Much better.
Well,
there was much better.
The first
crowds.
one I gave you was 3,000 fans.
No. That was the first year of Bruce Arians. Yes, it was his first year. You got a kid stepping in, and it grew. But we had better attendance than they have today.
Yeah, no, it was bad. It was bad
better.
this past weekend.
It was not good.
All right, what do we got on the text line, Connor? It's 610-632-0975. In case people are just tuning in, Jalen Phillips, the edge rusher from the Miami Dolphins, that a lot of people knew was going to get moved. It's just who was the person that would come in with the highest bid, and it was the Philadelphia Eagles, third-round pick, their own third-round pick, not the compensatory pick for Millen Williams, and not the early third-round pick that they have from the New York Jets. Jalen Phillips coming to Philadelphia for a third-round pick. What do we got?
So we've got a lot of people also checking in on a conversation we had in addition to the trades today about the Green Bay Packers versus the Detroit Lions, and which one do we feel more confident in? Joe from the Northeast, first-time texter, says Eagles are 6-1 with 11 days or more rest under Nick Sirianni. Only loss was the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. Eagles win big versus the Packers.
Now, win big. I hope. The Packers are coming off the bad loss, which is also something to think about when you – we see it all the time in football, right? You come off a bad loss, and then you look for the bounce back. By the way, they were at home yesterday, so they don't have to it's not like they're traveling back to Green Bay.
Exactly.
They also have an extra day of rest because it's a Monday night game. Now, again, between the Packers and Lions game, I'm more worried about the Lions game despite that one being in Philadelphia. But I'm not just going to sit here and say big win against the Packers. In terms of a beatdown.
No, I mean,
go Birds, man.
What happened to chest day?
It's tomorrow.
It's going to be tough.
They're unfiltered, man. All right, what else we got?
All right, we also have a check-in on that where this texter says, with Tucker Kraft gone for the season, and if you didn't see the news, he did have a torn ACL, unfortunately, yesterday. The Packers have no passing game now. I'm less worried about that game.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's a big loss for Green Bay, and that does benefit the Eagles for this Sunday because they have 8 days to try to figure out what the hell they do, losing a key player in their passing offense, and they don't have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. Right, think about what Dallas Goedert has meant for the Eagles this year. But Dallas Goedert has also had A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Saquon Barkley. Josh Jacobs has been a hell of a back for Green Bay, but it's not like they can go, oh, we lost Tucker Kraft. At least we have an arguable top 5 wide receiver and a guy that's a number 2 on this team that could be a number 1 on many other teams. They don't have that.
Correct.
They have a bunch of guys, and that's kind of been the thing for Green Bay, since Jordan Love's got there. They draft Matthew Golden, first-round pick, which is something they had not done in, 20 years? Because they never drafted one for Rodgers. I forget what the amount of years it's been since they drafted a first-round wide receiver. Because remember, Devontae Adams was a second-round pick. But it's not like Matthew Golden's been some explosive receiver so far this year.
No, this is trouble, though. He loses a quarterback who's struggling, loses his number 1 safety blanket. That's trouble for their offense.
Yeah, it is. and the Eagles coming off the bye week, and they had one of their better defensive performances the previous week. I get it was against the Giants, but the last time they played the Giants, they got spanked. So
correct.
Much better defensive performance. Guys are getting healthier. That's why I feel good going into this Packers game more so than the Lions game. But we'll see where we're at 2 weeks from now with Detroit. Let's get to Monday first. All right, Connor, time now for your 3 observations from the rest of the NFL. What do we got?
Oh, we got some good stuff, as always. And first, we got to talk about something that is going to sound crazy, but allow me to explain myself.
Sure.
Bills beat the Chiefs over the weekend. Great game. Was that America's game of the week?
Yes, 4:25
Anyway,
kickoff.
when do we start calling Josh Allen a choker? Because call him a choker. Because every time we talk about Josh Allen in the postseason, it's he's playing well, but his team. But every single time he faces the Chiefs in the regular season, it seems that the Bills come out on top.
Yeah, they're 5-1. Remember, that's why all 3 of us had them in our picks. But yeah, the Bills are 5-1.
But in the postseason, they're what?
They've not won.
I would look at his numbers, though.
Yeah, look
and
at
say,
dude. Look
his
at
numbers aren't. If someone's doing that, they're not watching the games.
At some point,
bro.
At some point,
Be careful.
No, I will not be careful.
What is he supposed to do?
At some point, the wins and losses outweigh the numbers. You can beat this team consistently in the regular season, but you see them in the postseason and you can't. At some point, when you're the MVP, that's on you.
Wow, I'll tell you.
I don't.
That's a hill you can die on.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, he has not been the reason his team's losing in the postseason.
Here are his games against Kansas City.
Hey, listen to some of these.
All right.
Ridiculous.
The first one, they lose 38-24. He goes 28 of 48, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Now, that's his worst one. All right. He also rushed for 88 yards in that game.
Okay.
The next one was the overtime thriller where Mahomes.
That was one of the greatest games I've ever seen.
27 of 37, 4 touchdown passes. He also rushed for 68 yards. The third game these two teams faced, 26 of 39, 186 yards and a touchdown, but he rushed for 72 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then last year against Kansas City, 22 of 34, 237 yards, 2 touchdowns, and rushed for 39 yards. It has not been
It's not him.
Josh Allen who has allowed 32 points, 27 points, 42 points, and 38
I
points.
understand the numbers. Then why in the regular season do they always win, and why in the postseason do they always lose?
I don't know, but
You're
I would
not
not
putting
say
it on
I
Josh
wouldn't
Allen.
say it's because
At
of
some
Josh
point-
Allen, dude.
At some point, you point to your guy.
Josh Allen has one of the best. He has some of the best
dude,
playoff numbers in the history of the game.
At some point, you point to your guy.
No,
No.
you don't. If you watch the game, you don't. You point at the
I've seen
Buffalo.
the games.
You point at the Well, then I
Watched
don't
the
know
game
what you're
yesterday.
saying. I don't know what you're saying.
Okay, if it
Because
was
in the playoffs, he's fantastic.
If it was in Philadelphia, we would be pointing at Jalen Hurts, in addition to other people, but we would have started to point the finger at Hurts. I think that we need to start looking at Josh Allen. Anyway, we'll move on. Broncos have a deal with the devil. They were down 15-7 going into the fourth against the Texans this weekend, and of course they scored 11 unanswered when it looks like they could do absolutely nothing all game offensively.
Bo Nix for you, man.
I'm a believer.
I know you are.
You know it, but
You like Bo Nix more than Josh Allen.
Denver is very much on that Washington Commanders trajectory where they're just finding ways to win games like crazy.
They're winning the games, so you go, wow, how can they do this?
Here's where I'll push back on your second observation. Denver's defense is so much better than what the Commanders had last year.
Oh, it's not even close.
And this is year 2.
Yeah. But I just mean the style in which they're winning. They're not as good of a team as they look, but they just keep winning football games, and eventually they're going to be one of the few teams left standing, I feel like, when we get later on into the season.
Yeah.
But that's just
a few teams left standing. What are you talking about? Like they're going to be a Final Four team?
I don't think so.
In the AFC.
Oh, in the AFC? Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
They just don't lose, man. They don't lose consistently. And the last thing, I just want to ask you guys, because Bryce Young just went into Lambeau Field and led the Panthers, who are putting together a sneaky good year, to a win on the road against that Packers team. So if you were the New Orleans Saints, for example, who started Tyler Shuck and got absolutely cooked this weekend because they stink.
Okay.
And you had your choice between Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, or neither. Waking up this morning today, what would you pick?
Wait, if you're the Saints?
If you're like a team like the Saints where you need a quarterback.
I think Bryce Young's showing you enough that he's a credible NFL quarterback.
I'm still not a Bryce Young believer.
I'm not sold yet, but
I'm not a Bryce Young.
So you'd go neither route, or would you take Stroud?
I would probably go neither. I'm curious what Stroud looks like when he has like at least one non-traffic cone in front of him blocking, but I'm not a believer in Bryce.
Oh, when he stops making stupid throws.
Yeah.
The stupid throws that he's making have nothing to do with his offensive
I agree
line.
with you.
Unless he's seeing ghosts,
He
which
might.
he could be.
Yeah,
he could
he
be
might
seeing
be.
ghosts. But at some point, that has to stop.
Bryce Young has 11 touchdown passes to 6 picks this year and a quarterback rating of 81.
Yeah, I'm probably also a neither guy, but
I'm not a Bryce Young guy.
I just didn't know where we stood with those top 2 quarterbacks.
Look,
for the draft class
Rico
2 years ago.
Dowdle is having a ridiculous season.
Correct.
Since he's sort of, because Chuba got hurt, and then they brought Chuba back. They tried splitting, and Dowdle's been shown to be the better back. Dowdle's not Saquon. The Panthers' defense is not the Eagles' defense of last year. Yeah, I'm not a believer in Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers. All right, coming up next, we will check some more text messages. Also, I want to tell the people more about Fanatic All-Star Day. I have some things planned for us tomorrow that I can't wait to do. Also, quick little baseball segment because the offseason has started. We were going to get into the World Series, but the Jalen
Got
Phillips
tossed out of the
trade
way, yes.
happened. Fox put together the top 10 free agents, and the Phillies are linked to, like, all of them. We'll go through that next. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
John Marks and Ray.
5, the Fanatic, on the eve of the NFL trade deadline after the Eagles already made a couple of moves. Jair Alexander on Saturday for a 6th-round pick. They got a 7th-round pick in return. And a 3rd-round pick for Jalen Phillips, edge rusher from the Miami Dolphins, who has 3.5 sacks this season. 2-7 Miami Dolphins. Bad situation. We'll see. Coming here to a better situation. And with Vic Fangio, who he had 6.5 sacks for in 8 games back in 2023 before he got hurt. He got injured back-to-back seasons, which is a shame for a player that, former 18th overall pick. We'll see. He's on his contract year right now. Hopefully he gets himself paid this offseason.
That's great. I mean,
that would mean he would play really well down the stretch for the Eagles.
There you go. So there's a lot of things to like about it.
It's also the eve of Fanatic All-Star Day, Johnny.
It is.
So tomorrow, it's going to be really fun. You're going to be listening all day, like you always should.
Because you don't know what you're going to hear.
By the way, I was in an Uber drive yesterday or on Saturday, and made sure to mention the 97.5, the Fanatic.
Did the gentleman was not a big listener at the time? Maybe you converted him?
Yeah, I hope so.
Okay.
We'll see.
That's good.
That was my political work. I was, shaking hands.
Canvassing?
Yeah, exactly. So, Fanatic All-Star Day tomorrow. It starts with us, 6 a.m.
Okay.
But it goes throughout the day till 6 p.m. So, Middays with Mark's part of the fun as well as Unfiltered. Different hosts from different shows. So, we will do all 4 hours of Kincade and Salciunas. But we will have Kevin Cooney in for about an hour tomorrow. We'll have Amy Fadul in for about an hour, as well as Andrew DeCecco. We're going to have Middays with Marks, Johnny Marks from 8 to 9, Harry Mays from 8 to 9, Ray Dunn from 8:30 to 9, and we'll also have Unfiltered for the entire 9 o'clock hour. So
awesome.
Our war with Ricky and Bill will actually happen here on the front lines instead of just over the airwaves.
I like that.
Looking forward to that.
We're prepared for it.
And then we'll be part of the fun Middays with Marks and also Unfiltered. So a couple of things that I've planned for us tomorrow.
Okay, what do we got?
I have Fanatic Trivia. I have category. All right?
Okay.
Some of them will just be like the history of the Fanatic. Some of them will be some of the weird stuff that have happened behind the scenes that have been talked about on the air. Like I know that they've been talked about on the air. We're not going to be telling any stories that are not supposed to be made for the air. And then I have some drops, and I have a lot of Harry Mays stuff. So as I said to you guys off the air on Friday, the beauty of me not being fired yet is that I've saved everything. So when I used to produce for Robbie E. and Harry Mays, I have everything still. And I can't wait to play a lot of it for you guys tomorrow in the 8 o'clock hour when Harry's sitting in with us.
Okay.
So we're going to have some fun. And then I can't wait. I am a pot stirrer.
You are.
Oh, haven't noticed.
When you two go at it.
You love it.
Dude, you and Kevin Cooney tomorrow.
Oh, my gosh. Kevin Cooney is bordering on Bill Colarulo level Sirianni obsession with Rob Thompson.
I'm going to have specific debates for the two of you that you guys have gone back and forth for on social media.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
Like, I can't wait. I won't have to work the 6 o'clock hour tomorrow.
No, you just put your feet up and go get your popcorn out. I mean, it's unbelievable.
I can't wait.
His obsession with defending Rob Thompson.
Oh, dude, I can't.
It's hilarious.
I can't wait. Fanatic All-Star Day.
How much did you enjoy Saturday night?
Oh, what, the World Series?
Yeah.
Oh, no, it was great. I thought you were talking about, like, me going out
No.
with
I'm
my
sure
friends.
you enjoyed that, but that was during the
enjoy
daytime,
that.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Most of it?
I got home around, 8? I left early because I'm, you know me.
Okay, so you got.
I was home for the World Series.
I mean, that game was
great.
That was one of the greatest games I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was theater, dude.
It's fantastic.
Unbelievable. All right, real quick before we get back to our text messages. Again, tomorrow, Fanatic All-Star Day starting at 6 o'clock. It'll be all day. It'll be on YouTube. You'll have more people in the studio than normal. So Haley and Dutsy are going to be busy tomorrow.
Oh, they usually are.
Yeah, but even busier. You're going to have to work the camera feed. Multiple.
Oh, it's going to be crazy.
Fox Sports put together the top 10 stars hitting the open market. They use the term stars.
Okay, stars.
Upcoming MLB free agents. And the Phillies, it's either one of their players or they've been linked to them at some point.
All right.
The number one free agent,
Schwarber.
Kyle Schwarber.
Right?
More than anybody else in Major League Baseball.
He's the number one free agent. No question.
He is number
That's
one.
some question, but I think he's number one.
Who'd you have ahead of him?
Kyle Tucker is definitely in the
Who
conversation.
is number 2 on this list? Kyle Tucker, maybe you value him being able to play in the field as
Correct.
part of your reason why.
Or younger.
Kyle Tucker is number 2. Phillies have been linked to him. Number 3, they list him as a shortstop, but there's already been talk about him potentially playing third base. Bo Bichette
See, I love that idea.
just lost the World Series to the
Love
Toronto
that
Blue
idea.
Jays.
Love it.
Number 4, Alex Bregman
No.
linked to the Philadelphia Phillies.
No more old people. No more old guys.
Number 5, we have an arm, and I saw the Locked On Phillies podcast talking about one Framber Valdez. Is that correct?
Yeah, not ideal to have a guy that pegged his catcher in the chest with a fastball.
He
but
seems like a horrible human being for
He's a
that.
horrible human
for
being.
that moment alone.
live left arm, though. Ranger Suarez
Dude,
replacement.
he's a hell of a pitcher.
No, he's a hell of a pitcher.
I don't want him, though.
I can't
Why?
believe he did that. I can't believe he.
Why?
Why don't you want him?
Because he pegged his catcher in the chest.
Dude, that's a bad.
So you
move.
say that absolutely rules him out.
He threw 96 through the chest of his teammate. I'm done with no.
That
yeah,
was a-
rules him
Okay.
out.
That was real, dude. That was I can't.
That
I
is one of
still
the craziest
can't believe
things
he
I
did
ever. You showed it to me
that. Yeah,
because I had not seen it when it happened.
and he walked away. He didn't care. He was like, "Yeah, screw you."
Nick
dude.
Castellanos said a bad word to Rob Thompson. He's a villain. This
By the
dude
way,
tries to kill
by
a
the
guy.
way, you know his teammates didn't exactly come out against him either.
No, you can't do that.
No, but the teammates didn't exactly come out against him. So what's that tell you?
No, you can't.
I don't
No,
know.
you can't do
There is no justification.
Yeah, you can't. No,
What's that tell you?
I don't care what it tells me. There's no
but what would it
justification.
tell you if the teammates don't say bad dude, rotten dude?
So
no,
if
I don't think he's a bad dude. I just think that moment, like, that's a horrible.
Like, why would they? Like, I mean, it's a horrible. No, we all agree it's a horrible thing. But wouldn't you expect that his teammates would be like, "Boy, he's a bad dude for doing that"?
no, I would probably between two teammates try and stay out of that situation.
let
Okay.
them
So I don't wear a four-seamer to my head
All
next
right.
time I'm
Yeah,
taking
yeah,
lots
yeah,
of bats.
I got you.
Pickoff play that nobody called. All of a sudden, you're throwing it to the third baseman. Number 6, Pete Alonso, linked to the Phillies.
Okay.
Number 7, Ranger Suarez. Number 8, Cody Bellinger, linked to the Phillies. Number 9, there's no way they acquire Eugenio Suarez. I can't.
No, another old guy.
And number 10, Josh Naylor, who's a first baseman. So
By the way,
that's not happening.
Cody Bellinger would piss me off.
Why? Because it's another lefty.
And also, yes, and also would be like, okay, we're going to do this again. We're going to like, how many times have they been linked to Cody Bellinger? At least
for
3
the last
times?
3 years,
Yeah. And then they get him like 3 years after his useful date? No, that would piss me off.
They did honorable mentions as well. Luis Arrives from the Padres, JT Realmuto, Dylan Cease, Chris Bassett, 2 pitchers there, and then Gleyber Torres. And that was who's the guy from MLB.com? The
Heyman?
former GM.
Oh,
Bowden.
I got you.
Jim Bowden. Jim Bowden. He had Gleyber Torres as a potential landing spot for the Phillies, but he would come here as a platoon guy.
Yeah, I don't.
And I don't think he
How
wants
many
to-
more platoons do we need, too? I mean, like, stop. When you watch that game Saturday night, though,
Yeah.
there's no way. The Phillies aren't in that game.
No.
The Phillies aren't playing that series. The Phillies don't have the plate discipline of either one of those teams. The Phillies don't. But how do you not? How do you not at least have one more stride towards home plate if you're on third base? You need a bigger lead than that.
Yeah.
You need a bigger lead. One more stride. The Blue Jays win the World Series.
Either got caught in the moment or got caught being too nervous about getting picked
What
off.
about his third base coach? Asleep at the wheel?
Listen, man,
They didn't. By the way, they didn't. They went back in the video of it too. They weren't communicating.
it's the difference between a team that's been there and a team that hasn't been
Yeah.
there.
Like, you're not your third base coach. What the hell are you there for? You got to say to him, dude, it's a left-handed pitcher. Extend your lead. Extend the lead. You got to get further down the line. You don't have to go crazy down the line, but you got to be at least one stride more. There's no way you're getting picked off.
It's a great World Series. Dodgers,
My
when
gosh,
they come back, and
it
we
was
even talked
awesome.
about it. Remember, I was pissed off, what was it, Thursday morning?
Yep.
I said, look, Dodgers
Yep.
might still win this World Series. That does not
No,
mean I'm not
exactly.
pissed off. By the way, Commanders, man, dude. So Jaden Daniels, the dislocated elbow. Luke McCaffrey, who's,
Yes.
slot receiver. They use him in return game. Broken collarbone.
Ugh.
Marshawn Lattimore feared to have suffered a torn ACL.
Are you kidding me?
And remember, they
There.
Oh, I
acquired
didn't realize that.
him via trade. I didn't realize it either. I just saw it. It's being reported by Ian Rappaport.
Wow. Okay.
They're done.
They're done, and 2 of your last 3 games are against the Commodes.
Yeah.
I mean, they're done. And by that time, they may be looking at it as, wow, we lose, we get a better draft pick than the Giants. Remember, they're only a game up on the Giants. They may be looking at it as, let's work for draft position.
Yeah, and then next year we have a good we have bones.
No. A Josh Harris-led team would never tank.
Yeah, exactly. They only have 2 draft picks in the first 4 rounds.
That changes so much, in terms of if we're talking about the 1 seed.
Oh, my God.
Right? So you have the Packers and Lions, which will be 2 really big tests for the Philadelphia Eagles. Like, how much can Kevin Patullo build off of what he did the last game against the New York Giants? I know it was the Giants, but it looked like an offense, right? Like, it didn't look like a college offense. It looked like a real offense. Can he build off of that into this game against the Packers and then the following week against the Detroit Lions? Then you have the Cowboys and the Bears. You can beat both of those teams. The Chargers, by the way, Joe Alt got carted off the field yesterday. I have not seen an update on Joe Alt.
Well, he got carted off. That didn't look good.
And they already lost Rashawn Slater at the beginning of the season. And that's a run-first,
that's
Harbaugh
what he wants
offense.
everything to set up with a run.
So the Chargers are now all of a sudden banged up on the offensive line. Then you have the Raiders. And then, as you mentioned, John, 2 of your last 3 games are against the Commanders, who could be in tank mode at that point. If we're talking about the 1 seed being a possibility, which it is, you wake up today, in case you're just tuning in, for the first time in the 2025 season, I looked at the NFL playoff picture. And the Eagles are the 1 seed, tied with the Bucs and the Seahawks. You got some winnable games toward the end here.
Yeah, and then in Week 17, you get choker Josh Allen. Like, it's a great opportunity.
God, such a bad take. It's just maybe the most awful take.
Text line and YouTube are very much disagreeing with you guys.
That really does it. Yeah,
what the people?
Is one of the greatest. He has some of the greatest numbers of any postseason quarterback ever.
I think you guys.
He's not the reason they're losing. Go back and watch the games.
If he's such a good hitter, then why doesn't he hit good?
Because he doesn't play defense.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't make the critical play at the critical point.
That historic game.
Oh my gosh!
That was unfortunately just the divisional round of the playoffs between the Chiefs and Bills.
Late night Sunday,
dude. Like that 4th down pass to Gabe Davis. Like, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
And it's terrible. It's like people just going, they lost, so blame the quarterback.
Yeah,
he was fantastic.
All right, by
the way, Bears, Cowboys, Packers, Seattle. Those are the 4 teams that Jaden Daniels lost to.
Yeah,
this year. So no talking about Jaden Daniels was injured. He lost all those teams. H&H Heating and Air Conditioning. They were just out at our house. They made a donation to the American Association for Cancer Research, and you can too. Go to 975thefanatic.com/AACR. I'm living proof. Cancer research saves lives. Big day tomorrow, buddy.
Can't wait. Fanatic All-Star Day starts with us at 6 o'clock. Goes all day long here on the Fanatic. Everybody have a great rest of your day. Middays with Marks next. You're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5.